Oh, bless you, stock image of a man.
Hey guys, you can catch them, and they're like, "That's dodgeball."
And I want to waste time. Peter's not up for this.
And I bet he's seen Man on the Moon.
Oh, Sonic.
Yeah. That says fetish fantasy series.
Just ending up like a cartoon character.
100%.
It's just like, I think I did it wrong.
A little bit of a problem. Grandma needs some sugar.
I want to fuck that boy.
We still don't have an HR department.
I'm looking at you, OBJ.
OBJ?
I love Will. That is not Odell Beckham Jr.
Okay.
For the post show where I will get my sweet, sexy present.
She sounded like a squeak toy. God. Hello, welcome to Back Pocket for Thursday, the 3rd of June, live from the Loki Studios. I am Nick Richardson, and today on the show we've got games, we've got giveaways, and we've got gripes. But I'm not the only one with problems. Oh no, I am joined by... Oh, he's still there.
Hi, Gus.
Disrespectful.
That's
Next
a
to me.
book.
That was really expensive.
I was worried about the lights behind me more
that's
than the
true.
book.
That's it.
That was the bit. Now do the bit.
This is all I have to say.
You stop squeezing your dog.
Where's her head go?
And next to me,
And tonight, I'm Peter, but tonight I'm dressed by BT Nano. And this is Nicolas Cage inside a banana peel.
That is a
It's a very
triumph.
sexy shirt.
Is it a reference to something? Like it's great.
Yeah, that time that Nicolas Cage fucked a banana.
The Rock 2.
Nicholas,
Too.
little known fact about Nicolas Cage, his mother was a banana.
There you go.
And that's him getting born.
The birth of Nicolas Cage is
Yeah.
what the shirt is called if you want to look it up online.
I also don't understand it.
What's
Nick
to
Cage-
understand?
what's to understand?
Nicolas Cage and a banana.
Hey, no,
But this isn't something that you have referenced yourself.
No.
There's no link between you and Nicolas Cage in a banana. It's just somebody.
I reckon we could find one. I reckon it's the 7
By
degrees of
the
Kevin
end
Bacon.
Of this show,
Actually has
I found it.
incredible high levels of potassium.
Oh, that's good.
Yep.
Also, Pete is wearing a T-shirt of Nick Cage and a banana. That's the link to Nick Cage and a banana.
We're there in
Pete.
one. We're there in one.
It's phenomenal. It's because he's the shape of a banana. He's so sexy. He's being unpeeled. I don't like bananas traditionally as a fruit. I'd eat that up. Yum, yum, yum.
my problem with most fruit is that I never want to consume the whole thing.
Sorry, we're going down the
In
fruit
one-
train, not what just happened there.
yeah.
Sometimes I start thinking about what I want to say, and I stop listening to what you're saying.
No way.
Sometimes?
So I didn't hear what the end of your thing was.
I was just talking about how I'd eat up Nicolas Cage. Yum, yum, yum. Sometimes your problem with fruit is you like to start eating it, but you don't like to finish it.
Yeah, I usually like half a piece of most fruits, but maybe an apricot, which is a very
size.
good size.
What about like grapes?
Yeah,
Small fruits, half strawberry?
Yeah, no. Okay, look, berries. Let's not go into berry territory.
Okay.
I'm just saying like apples, oranges, bananas, mango.
Long-time fans will know. Yeah, right, okay. That is interesting. Well, I guess, okay. Here's the question. Also, Will, hi, on the ones and twos.
That's all right. That's me here.
Yeah.
Will you finish a banana?
Will, are you a banana?
They're tricky because it's like there's a lot going on, and sometimes
and they're very mushy.
yeah.
And we've never
lot
seen the
of
bottom half of
commit
Will
to.
No,
as
no.
well.
I am a centaur.
Oh, yeah. If
Banana
you stood
no, a
up, would
banana.
you be a banana? Would you
I could be
Nicolas
in a
Cage?
banana right now. You
In a banana boat?
You'd have no idea.
That's next week's graphic sorted.
Often what I do is I cut the banana in half and then I put a little bit of
Give you a nice
foil
clean
over
plate,
the end
Will.
of the banana and I put it back in the fridge.
Okay, that's
Bad
good.
woman.
So here's my
that.
my question, because I definitely think of banana as a single serve piece of fruit. Like it's designed to be consumed in one. Apple, yes. Orange, yes. Anything smaller than orange, totally. A mango, like this, I guess what I'm asking
Yeah,
is like,
mangoes
at
are for
what
sharing.
point do you go?
Mangoes are for sharing.
I'm gonna eat some of this and put it back. Like, is
I will
the
only
intention?
I will only purchase fruit that you can eat some of.
You're insane.
So apples, no chance because they go brown.
You don't buy apples.
Don't buy apples.
You don't finish the apple.
But you just need to eat it in one sitting.
You know the
But
good,
you're not going to do that.
But you know the good thing
But it's
about an apple?
smaller
I get
than the
half
mango.
the apple and I'm like, I'm done with this.
Okay, can
You know
I?
the good, no, but you know
Oh,
the
yeah,
good thing
please.
about an apple is that an apple can be like You can eat half an orange and not put a dent into the rest of it. An apple, you can be one of those people who just eats around, takes a small bite around the whole thing, and you're like, apple finished.
Yeah.
Now, if you're one of those people who eats
But
right
it's
down
not
to the
finished
core,
though, is
but
it?
it
You
looks
just-
So much
it's got a
fruit on
thick
you got
core.
all the best bits of it. You got all the like skin,
Yeah.
flesh, and then you just left the stuff closer to the core. You can at least feel like you finished it. You
An
can
apricot.
hurl that thing off a
That's
freeway
a great
overpass.
fruit.
So here's
Apricot's
what
fantastic.
I find fascinating, that you go, I don't want to buy fruit that I'm only going to eat some of. But like an apple, the great thing about an apple is you can like eat as much as you want. So when I eat an apple, I eat literally the entire apple except for the stem. I will eat core and all. I'm the Mr. Ed of eating apples. But if you wanted, you could eat half an
Not a
apple
fan.
until you've had enough apple. You could throw that apple out the window and contribute to nature. So it feels like you're missing out on the taste of apples because you feel obligated to finish the apple, but you
And
don't.
you are robbing the rest of us of more apples.
I guess like I like to consume fruit in a more like snacking fashion. So I would probably like cut up an apple to eat it, you know? Like I
like those apple presses that they core it and slice it into like a bunch of wedges at the same time.
Those are
Can I
great.
just
That's the
point out
greatest invention.
Can I just point out the irony of an online show's hype train just roaring past as we went, I like to slice up an apple.
You've seen them though. You've seen them. Isn't the core of an apple poisonous? No. It's got like a tiny bit of cyanide in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Tiny.
You would have to eat so many apple cores to start to feel unwell.
And I think I pointed this out. Sometimes I think the
Haven't got me
skin
yet.
has arsenic in it.
Yeah.
A tiny
arsenic.
Yeah, but like
Cyanide.
Yeah, not cyanide. I didn't want.
Cyanide would kill you.
Yeah.
Don't drink cyanide.
No.
But
Drink
also,
vinegar
like-
and have a tiny little bit of arsenic.
A little bit of arsenic will fix
Eggplant
what
and
ails you.
tomatoes and all that stuff, they're all part of the nightshade family, but you don't
Don't
die
listen to
from
anything we
that.
say.
That's true. That's true. Which sounds like a cool family to be part of. We're part of the Nightshade,
Nightshade
family.
Okay. We went longer on that one than I was expecting, but I'm glad.
get your-
I'm glad. This is the kind of shit. Can I just say?
Yes,
this
yeah,
is the
please.
kind of shit they never let us say on the ABC, and they certainly never
I
let
know.
us say on Channel 7.
But here's-
ABC was like under the umbrella of Big Apple,
Yep.
big banana,
Big banana.
and big
Prawn.
But I also think that food takes are always worth exploring. You know how many like profound, amazing tweets I've put out into the world and just nobody cares?
What is going on?
And then I'll be like, hey guys, how great is peanut butter?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, fuck yeah, I love peanut butter. I put it on my toast. Like, yeah, I put it in smoothies. Peanut butter's the best. And I'm like, wow, okay.
It is a great way to get
People are
engagement.
really enthusiastic about this topic.
Yeah, that's totally true. There's a podcast I listen to called Waypoint. It's a gaming podcast, and their mailbag section has just turned into food takes.
Yeah, right.
Questions about food. And it's funny, but at the same time, it's a little like, can we please talk about some fucking video games? And I feel like that's how our audience might be feeling right now.
they're talking about peanut butter.
Okay,
Yeah.
how good
Taking
is
away
peanut
from it.
butter?
It's great.
Talking about
Again-
I'm late but hard. Oh, I thought that was hill, but it's hard.
Do you know what we're eating a lot of at home? And I'll tell you, ABC spread. Have you had ABC spread?
Oh, I have had
ABC spread.
Yeah.
Yep.
Almond, Brazil nut,
Oh.
cashew,
Oh.
all mixed together.
I like a cashew spread.
It's
so I
good.
can get on board.
Oh, it's so good.
Interesting.
It's so good.
How's it go with sliced apple? I'm genuinely not just trying to do that. Don't people do that? Put
Yeah, peanut butter and
sliced
apple is like a
That
good
is what
snack.
you can do.
Yeah.
It's good to add fats to the fiber.
I keep looking at Steph like I'm trying to win you over on the apple train thing. I'm like, there you go. That's
Yeah,
what
but
could
you would
do.
have to cut the apple up first to be able to enjoy it that way, and that is the way I believe an apple should be eaten.
I'm okay with the cutting up. It just all needs to be consumed in one sitting.
Well, that's too much.
Putting it away, it's going to get dry. It's going to
No,
get
so
brown.
here's the thing. I have kids. I don't know if you know this. They love apple, but you cut like the cheek off an apple, and then you put it in the fridge, and you can wrap it up if you want. But it's always going to get that dry brown like thing on the exposed flesh.
You just take that off.
You just
Right.
slice that off. I'm talking atom thick.
Wafer thin.
And then underneath,
Atom
it is
thick.
Hannibal Lecter's dream underneath there. It is moist flesh all the way down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Hannibal Lecter loved apples.
Love cyanide. That's how he
Funny,
killed
they
his
never
victim.
talk about that, do they?
They
It's
really
always
don't.
did they just
That
get
veg
caught
fa-
up on the human limb?
Imagine if you ate bouillabaisse once.
Once.
And then for the rest of your life, it was like, there's that guy who eats bouillabaisse all
Yeah,
the time.
totally.
Let's put a mask on him and put him in prison.
Little drop of truth here. I don't really shot vinegar. I have done, and I don't mind it. But I wouldn't do it all the time.
And
The truth train.
I don't think I've ever heard the word bouillabaisse said out loud.
I know. I was so
was good.
impressed.
You fucking
that
nailed it.
I found
You
that
wrapped your
word
mouth
in
around
my
it.
head.
Yeah.
Also, he always had it with the side of fava beans. He was a big bean nut. He
That's
probably
true.
liked beans and then once added.
That's the fiber.
Yeah.
You know what? And this is why I always say to Peter, you know, men are always the biggest culprits.
Cannibal what?
Victims of like all the bad bowel cancers because they have a high meat diet,
Yep.
not enough fiber. You've got to have your fiber. You got to have your fava beans.
So
Have a nice Chianti.
at the moment, I'm having a real problem with indigestion. I'm getting really,
reflux bad.
really bad. Like yesterday, I got it for 20 minutes, like awful reflux where I could barely breathe. And the only thing that I'm finding is helping, and it's when I eat I guess complex carbohydrate. Like it's when I'm eating like quinoa, rice, that sort of like stuff.
That's helping?
No, that's what's hurting. Like literally a spoonful of rice and my body goes, "Bah!" And then I start like going, and I need to have some like side salad. And as soon as you put a side salad in there, it goes down easy. And that's why he's eating the fava beans, because you would get really bad indigestion if you ate a person.
You need roughage.
But if you got some roughage there,
You have roughage.
you need to eat roughage
That's
while
what
you eat
happened.
Ralph.
Yeah.
That's what the police kick the door in. They're like, "What are you doing? Have a salad."
Have a salad, you monster.
we're off.
You monster.
It's a Waldorf. It's very expensive for some reason. God. It's literally just cabbage.
Can this be the show?
Yeah.
This is the show.
Are we all a bit over video games?
I hate it.
No, I have so much fun stuff to talk about tonight, but I'm enjoying
Got a
this
good one.
conversation also.
God.
And that's what's wonderful about our diverse community. They like the food takes, but they also come for the video.
Did you say diverse community?
Maybe?
I think you did. I think you referred to our community as a community.
This is all chaos. What the fuck
Did
is
I?
happening?
I don't think so.
People sneezing?
In my head, it came out normally.
Okay. I think it's because we all
Fucking
look
hell.
really good. I love both of the jumpers going on here that seem to be like a theme. You both look ready to move some flats during intermission.
Yes.
Pete's looking boss in a ridiculous
Can we
t-shirt
go to the
and a
white
great
for Pete's
coat.
boot? A little bit of Pete boot in the side. I was enjoying them.
Blundies.
Yeah, Blundstones.
Blundies.
Someone said the other day, they were like, "I'm getting some blundies," and I thought,
yeah.
when I read it, I thought that just sounded like
Drugs?
underwear for when you have a blunder. Like
Of
they
course, your mind would go there.
were underwear for like, I've got undies.
dust.
Yeah. A blunder being a poopy?
Yeah, like a blunder being an accident. Isn't that what a blunder is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And then
not in your
blundies.
pants.
Oh, like undies.
undies.
Like
Yeah,
London.
right.
Blunder. And just
I'm there.
You mean
I'm
like
there.
adult diapers?
I got there with you.
I assumed they were just like, yeah.
Or just like undies that can take it.
Spanks.
God damn it.
Blundies were.
Okay, good. Will, anything to add?
No, I'm still trying to work out how to spell arsenic.
Yeah, okay.
yeah, good.
He got arse into Google and he
Can
got,
you
it's like,
find out
wait.
how to spell bouillabaisse?
Yeah, can you look that up? There's
look it
2
up.
L's. I think there's 3 S's. And there's definitely a U in there somewhere. There's a U here too. What?
It sounds, there's a U in blunder.
Yeah, well, there will be. Okay. Are we done?
Probably.
I hope so.
Let's move on. It's time to talk about some video games, which is why we're here, obviously. The first video games we're talking about are games that you don't necessarily own yet, but you could. And I rarely say this, but I think you should. And you can, thanks to the PlayStation Days of Sale. Oh my goodness, the Days of Play Sale, sorry. They should call it the Days of Sale, because technically that's what it is.
That's accurate.
It's a sale that's running during the Days of Play, which is why they've called it the Days of Play Sale, which starts on May 26th, which is a day that's already happened, and it ends on June 9th, which is a day that will happen, hopefully.
That's how time works.
I'm just saying anything could happen.
Yeah.
We haven't hit there yet, but that is Tuesday next week, I believe. There are great deals on a selection of PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 games, as well as other select products at participating retailers. I don't know if you've ever been to a retailer recently.
Not once.
It's a place where you go to buy things physically.
Nah, it's overrated.
But if you want to go to the PlayStation Store on your PlayStation 4 or your PlayStation 5, there is a selection of fantastic games on sale right now. I've got a little list. Gus, I'm particularly interested in your opinion on this. I've got some PlayStation 4 games, some 5 games. I want you to tell me which one you would buy.
So the buying implying that I don't already have it, because there's a heap of games in there that I do that thing where I see them on sale and I already own them, and I'm like, oh, it just reminds me that I want to play it again.
Yeah.
It's such a good game.
Well, I'll allow it. If you could purchase it again, you could make a new account.
Okay.
If you were really committed.
List away.
Death Stranding.
Oh, look, done. There we are. Buy it again just to prove a point that it's a fucking good game.
Okay.
But we can keep going with the list.
No, that's fine. You shut down everything. No, cool. Death Stranding, Ghost of Tsushima, Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, Predator Hunting Ground, Sackboy: A Big Adventure, The Last of Us Part 2. Those are some PlayStation 4 games. I got some PlayStation 5 games for you as well. Demon's Souls, Spider-Man, Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, and Miles Morales Ultimate Edition, Sackboy: A Big Adventure, and the Neo Collection.
Sackboy Big Adventure you raved about, didn't you? You said you loved it.
A genuinely underrated... Will, back me up. A genuinely underrated gem.
Really good. It was really good. It merged like so many different versions of platformers throughout the years. Like it was legitimate fun.
Okay. See, that's one that I did pass on when I was like, got my PS5 finally and was like, cool, what am I going to play? I'll wait for that to go on sale. Predator Hunting Ground as well looked like this delightful game that did not warrant me rushing out on day one. But I was like, I'll wait for a sale. Guess what? There's a whole days of sale now. What is it?
Days of play sale.
Days of play sale.
But that's fine. They've only got a few more days. We can rebrand it now.
There we go. Yeah, so I'll check those out.
And what's more, additional...
All right. Oh.
What's more, additional deals are also available in PlayStation Store, as well as PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now subscriptions that are available during Days of Play. Stay tuned for more info here on the PlayStation blog and over on the Days of Play site. I clearly
Not
copied
here
the last
on the
part
PlayStation blog.
from the PlayStation blog.
Over there on the PlayStation blog.
Yeah.
And we should point out it was it like more than 50% off Last of Us Part 2.
57?
57% off.
There are some fun. There are fun percentages in that.
There are some interesting
They're
percentages.
crazy.
But we should say, like, that is a game everyone should have played. Everyone should play. Everyone should have played. And if you haven't, with a price like that, you've got no excuse
I'm wondering,
to buy it again.
do they go... Because what comes first? Do they go,
Chicken.
this game is normally, let's say, $80.
Sure.
And we're going to put it on sale, but we want it to be $30.
So they need
and
to
then they
wrap
have
the
to
percentage.
figure out what the percentage is. Or do they go, hey, this game is $80 and we want to give you 66% off. And then figure out like whatever that comes out as.
Because then if you go to buy it from the PS Store and it goes, this is now $48.23, you're like, ugh.
Like a weird, yeah.
Yeah.
Ugly numbers.
Oh, people like round numbers.
Yeah.
I think they're working out the cost first, and then it's like whatever the percentage is.
Yeah, that's good.
right.
That's probably right. And it does, and I do think that I always feel like I'm getting more of a deal if something's like 37% off. I'm like, that's an extra 7% than I'm normally used to seeing.
Well,
Yeah.
that's probably the other side of it. It's a psychology thing.
It's look, and let me tell you, it's working. Days of Play sale. Get over there. It ends next week. Go get your extra 7%.
Go get your extra copy of Death Stranding.
Gonna do it. All right, let's move on now to games that we own because we played them.
It's true.
In a segment we like to call Hit It, Pete. Here are the games that we played because we own them. Brought to you by Brett Jones, aka LokiCat. How many games do you reckon LokiCat owns?
4,000, give or
Are
take.
we talking Steam and potentially any like old box copies lying around?
Mobile games.
Yep.
Mobile games?
Are we including mobile games?
Yeah.
I've downloaded so much trash on mobile that
4,000.
like doesn't even
Current-
count.
I'm confident in that.
Currently installed on phone.
Currently sold.
No, on phone like
No, just like historically, aren't we going with like a...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has owns right now or has owned?
It's already too muddy.
So
Let's just stick
so-
with
This is like a list.
Let's
Let's
just-
list.
PC and console games only.
Yep. So there's a way that we can find out.
Yeah.
Because I meant to put this on my what we've been playing a couple of weeks ago. I've been using the GOG
LokiCat's login.
I've been using the GOG launcher.
Yeah, right.
And it is a universal launcher
Yeah.
that you can tie Xbox, PlayStation, all your accounts to,
Cool.
and it shows you all of the games you own on
Interesting.
every platform.
That's cool.
And on your computer, you can launch any game that's installed on your computer from that launcher.
Is GOG owned by CD Projekt?
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So and I'll find out the number for next week. I know how many video games I own
Yeah,
on
wow.
all my platforms.
That's cool.
It is, I mean, it is. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's not amazing, but it's like
It's cool.
You know, it's worth a 30-second conversation on a Thursday night show.
I think so.
I'm going to do it. I want to see.
Yeah, we could all bring our numbers next week.
Do you have games like, because I have an issue with like looking at all the games on my Steam, and there's some games on there that like I just bought and then kind of regretted. And I have this also with Audible.
Regretted.
Well, just like, yeah, just stuff that like I just kind of and it like I
know what you
don't
mean.
like seeing it there, and I
yeah.
want to remove it.
I got
okay.
like Doritos Fun Run for the 1,000 gamer score.
Yeah.
And it was like 10 achievements, and it gave me 1,000
Honey
gamer
Pop
score.
1
It was,
and
like,
2.
Felt worth it at the time, but
Yeah.
it totally wasn't.
It's like my
moral.
Audible, when I signed up to Audible, they were doing a promotion where you got 50 Shades of Grey for free. And I didn't want that.
Yeah.
It's on my fucking list.
Oh.
And it looks like the first book I ever bought on audio.
You're right. I
Well,
did the thing on the Apple,
Right.
the
You can't get rid of it.
yeah, well, the bookstore, the book app on the Apple phone, like puts all your books along a little,
Yeah, that YouTube book.
the little shelf.
Yeah.
the YouTube best of. And the first thing it did was like, hey, you can have a free book. Pick between these 10 books, and one was The Hobbit, so I put it there, and it gave me the old
Le Hobbit?
Le Hobbit, Da Hobbit,
Da Hobbit?
D Hobbit, and the
Die
other one
Hobbit?
was like sexy rope tie-up book, and I was like, yeah, I'll click on that, and I can't get rid of it. So and I've never put another book on that like virtual store, so there's just a fetish book and the Hobbit book.
Wait, you own the rope tie-up book, and yet that happened last week?
Yeah, I never read it.
Okay, yeah, true.
Showing
Yeah,
us all
should've read
how
it.
it's done.
That's-
Should have read it.
Yeah. Apparently you can remove games. I'm going to do it. I'm going to Marie Kondo my whole thing.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
50 Shades of Grey was a massive boon to Kindle and audiobooks because people did not want to read it in public.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they were happy to
Right.
read it on Kindles or listen to that steamy
I did that with
erotica.
self-help books.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, people don't need to know that I'm reading this.
yeah.
But also like, insightful.
Yeah. Good. All right, let's talk about the games that we've been playing this week. Peter Burns, incite us.
Well, I'll start by saying that I'm playing Destiny 2, and I'm not going to do it all in this for long because everyone hates when I'm talking about Destiny forever. But we are going to get the I was going to say perfection run. What's it called? Flawless run of Vault of Glass in the coming week. So I'm going to talk about it again next week.
Good.
Because we got so close last night. We're in
Did
the final
you?
encounter.
I was going to say name and shame, but don't.
I'm not going to name and shame. They know. They know.
Bonko Bishop wasn't.
5 years. No, it wasn't Bishop. Bishop never screws up.
Okay.
Because he's a warlock. A game that I spent the most time. Obviously, Steph and I were away for the most of the last week between Thursday and Thursday.
The game of
but
life.
I have my Switch. We were playing the game of life. I have my Switch, and I finished The Missing Heir, the Famicom Detective Club, The Missing Heir.
Very nice.
Which I was glad to have the time with my Switch to put into this, because it's hard to play the Switch. To me, it is a very portable device, and it's hard to play the Switch when I'm at home because I'm like, I'm on my PC,
Yeah.
or there's
I'm the same.
another console.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool. I played this on the plane, and I powered through it, and it is a wild story.
Sorry,
I know you're looking at an old
the
man
vision
having
is
dialogue.
Old man talks to young boy. I'm like, slow down.
Remember-
Wilder by the minute.
Remember, I still haven't played the other half of the Famicom Detective Club.
Wait, the one Nick was playing?
The one that Nick's playing.
Yeah.
Right, which was called...
The
behind
girl who
you.
stands behind.
Girl who
Yeah.
stands behind. But this is just murders left, right, and center.
Yeah, right. Because
It's just really violent. The art is violent. The animations
you
are
showed
great.
me.
It was really cool.
last week when you did an oh my god moment on the couch playing it here in the office, I was like, what on earth are you talking about? And he showed me, and there was a very graphic murder of a character you mentioned. I don't know who they are, so I can't spoil it. But it was just you would expect to see body under
With a draped over
draped
with
over
a sheet,
something,
but it's
and it was like man caught in the last moments of death.
yeah, and a bit of really horrific animation,
We're talking rigor mortis.
No, we're talking oh well yes, but we're also talking the kind of things that anime does really well of showing horror,
Yeah.
like Attack on Titan or something.
Yeah.
It's that's just grotesque.
And
Yeah.
eyes that,
Bulging eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
That's sort of
it's far more.
fear.
It's not. There's no fantasy in it, but it's like Attack on Titan. But it is grotesque in a realistic way, which was I don't know why I'm finding that really cool, but it was I was just surprised that this thing was really aggressively mature in a lot of ways.
Well, its
And
track record
yeah, and
coming
the fun of it was it's an Agatha Christie style whodunit, and my mind changed every kind of chapter.
Yeah, cool.
So that was I think it was effective because I couldn't be sure that I'd pick the right person, and you don't have to pick the right person. The story just unfolds as you progress, but you're always suspect about different people and tiny little interactions, and I think that's a testament to the little bits of animation that are in there that push you one way or another. And they obviously intentionally give you red herrings and stuff, but it's a lot of fun.
What are we talking? 6-7 hours?
Yeah, about 7 hours, I think. Yeah.
Isn't it weird how we're so obsessed with murder? I always use it as an argument for people who say video games are too violent. I'm like, well, then go back and watch your like procedural Scandi noir drama where we find out who mutilated all of these corpses. 'Cause
Yeah.
we're just dying to find out.
But his partner is a dog. It's very endearing.
Inspector Rex, no. No humping.
People are like, why do you have to shoot so many people in video games?
No, it's a
like,
good point.
That really is Scandi drama in a nutshell,
And, like,
isn't it? They
and
can't
all-
just
but
kill them.
also,
They have to chop them in half and put them in the middle of a bridge between two
Like,
countries.
there are not enough murders being like committed in grotesque enough ways to like have enough podcasts.
I saw
You know
a...
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like people are trying to find. They're pulling out murders from like 1942 because they're like people can't get enough of murder.
I saw a it was like a New Yorker cartoon or something, and it was a jury member standing up and said, "We the jury find the defendant." What was it? We the jury find the defendant. Interesting enough to have an HBO miniseries based around them or something something like that. And I was like, yeah, that's so true. Like that's so spot on.
In terms of the game and the mechanic that you both mentioned when you were playing it, that felt a bit dated in terms of the asking, re-asking.
Yeah.
Having played it through to the end.
Oh, yeah, it was a pain in the ass.
That was still painful.
That was
all the way through?
persistent the
Doesn't
whole way
go
through.
away.
Yeah, okay, right.
And
It's the real murder.
Yeah, it is. It is. The good thing is that these games are 2 decades old.
Yeah.
And walkthroughs of these things are online.
Yeah, right.
And I actually followed one because it didn't ruin my experience of the game at all. Like when I felt like I was
It's not gonna
even
tell you
close
that-
to getting stuck.
Yeah.
Or just caught in the loop of like, oh, I didn't trigger the right thing in the right way.
There
I
was
would
one
just
point
look it
where
up
he
and be
was like, there was just a screen of just like a grassy hill, and he had a magnifying glass, and he was just trying to like zero in on the right thing, where it was like, find what's hidden in here, and he was just like,
But it was like, and there was a queue. There was a queue that was like,
like
I
one
don't-
pixel of the screen.
I can't see, but it wasn't even that. It was. I can't see anything, but I might not be looking close enough. So to me, that was like, all right, I just need to click
Yeah.
on this a bunch of times or find the right.
Like I had to do with the
Yeah,
river, of
right.
clicking on it like 8 times until it
That's
procced.
right,
Yeah, and it wasn't that.
Yeah.
I needed to go somewhere else, have the correct dialogue tree conversation with someone over there for them to have an idea of like, oh, what if I was wearing this at that time? Maybe there's something of that over there, and then go back, and that's how I could find the thing. That
Yeah.
It's like it's just so it's too like rigid in its design to force you through the game that way. But it is
a
a
era where that was forgivable.
Oh, totally.
been
Yeah,
far more
yeah,
than it is.
yeah. And if you feel the frustration, just look at a guide because they're fun to play through no matter what. Because you just get so engrossed in it's all cutscene basically.
And I assume
Yeah.
the guide's not going to spoil the mystery, or the portions of the mystery.
the guide
that
I
you're looking
read
forward
was
to. It's gonna
clever
say-
about you will find the item.
Yeah,
and then
cool.
it was like, and that item was something.
Yeah.
like dramatic.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I just want to say in chat, Madam Muse said, I'm easily influenced. Guess who is now eating apple and peanut butter?
Good.
Now eat the whole damn thing.
And Wolsey plays. I mean, we've had a lot of gifted subs tonight, but Wolsey plays dropped in 5. Coastal's there. Toxic Chorg did heaps earlier as well.
God.
Thank you guys.
If
Lovely.
heroes. Thank you so much for all the subs. And to everyone else who hasn't subbed, what's wrong with you?
Or beg for a gifted sub.
Oh, that's good
Beg.
too.
Oh, yeah.
Beg
That's
in
good.
chat.
Yeah, that's
Beg
good.
in chat.
I'm not above begging.
That went from
Not right.
positive,
Yep.
chastising,
Yep.
to hate, convincing them to be desperate and beg.
There you go.
What a ride.
Cool. That's the missing air. I'm looking forward to checking it out. I'm definitely going to play that one. For you to be impressed by that kind of game means it's definitely worth looking.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And the other tiny little thing that I played was an itch.io game called Deliver at All Costs.
Wasn't it called Drive Like You Mean It?
It was called Drive Like You Mean in my head,
Yep.
But
but I remembered it. I even looked it up on my phone during the last chat to make sure I got it right.
Drive Like
What's
You
it
Mean It. Great
actually
name.
called?
It's called Deliver at All Costs. Damn it.
Deliver at all costs.
Yes, you are a delivery driver in a pickup truck.
It needs to have deliver in the title.
Yeah, fair.
costs.
It is. It's Deliver at All Costs.
I know, but I'm just saying that you're.
I'm so confused.
She's backing you up against me.
Yeah,
Who's
okay.
trying to throw you
Do you
off.
deliver like you mean it?
No, you deliver at all cost. It is a very silly, simple game. The hook of it is the soundtrack. So, Will, if you can crank it a little bit for us, it's like,
Oh,
Oh yeah.
There's like some 50s, like there's this song.
doo-wop kind of stuff.
It's like doo-wop-y stuff, and then there's like an ad. There's an ad for cigarettes. Get your cigarette filters from Canning Cigarettes. and
Good.
Stuff like that. It's like
7 doctors approved.
yeah,
Get
totally.
that.
So all that design, this song as well.
Oh, as Rock and Robin.
Yeah.
Quick, we'll get taken off Twitch.
Yep.
Oh man,
Kill
kill the audio.
Kill the audio.
I'll sing the rest of it.
So you play like little 5-minute stints. The idea is to get a high score. I just did a sick.
That was very
Yeah,
good.
you
That was
totally
very
stuck
good.
that landing. That was amazing.
You landed like you meant to.
And like yeah, the oh god damn it. The hook is just in that soundtrack. Just the 5 minutes burns through because it's just like it's so fun to listen to.
Yeah.
You go to like you go to different venues and stuff.
Whoa,
And
that escalated.
I hadn't worked out when I was recording this footage. You can throw the contents of the back of the ute at the person you're delivering to, which crushes them, and then like it's all very destructive.
Cheeky rewind mechanic.
It's not a rewind mechanic. When you crash to the point, and it's almost frustrating at some points, when you crash to the point of no return, the game automatically rewinds, which looks cool in the physics engine.
Yeah.
But it's like it's quite slow, and you know that's part of the game is that you're trying to get a high score in a 5-minute timer. So
And sorry, it's a
drive
stunt.
around.
It's a stunt-based game.
stunt,
where you-
just mainly destruction-based game. You
Yeah,
just
cool.
drive through as much as you can, and you're never penalised for anything except for flipping your car, and it's like you lose a bit of time. So
Yeah, right.
It's like go around the little map, and yeah, here I am reversing out of this thing. But you find yourself in positions that are still awkward. So
Yeah, right.
it's very early access.
It's a student project.
Is it indeed?
Yes, it's a school project developed by Swedish students Lars Olsson, Oscar Elgren, Jimmy Hulton, Simon Benson, Daniel Nielsen, Jacob Burlow, and Robin Fondrak, all of whom I can almost guarantee
Are
have
related to
never
Stephanie.
mutilated a corpse.
Beautifully,
Yeah, it's very
like
cool.
for a student game in early access, the shaders,
the lighting's nice.
The lighting's like just some nice little tricks there that really make it pop. Like,
Yeah.
Because this could very easily be.
You know, I just ran into the edge of the map, and
That's
it
where
goes
they've gone
boing.
to. Could very easily see this adopting a number of art styles, but this is a nice one. Like it's,
Yeah, I like
it's
it.
you know,
Totally. All the aesthetic ties really nicely together. This feels like it feels like almost like a pop-out book
yeah,
from that
totally.
isometric perspective.
Is
and
it
then,
set
and
in the 50s?
yeah,
you
like
pick
it's a
up truck
50s-y
The
truck.
car
Yeah.
looks old. And
Yeah,
the,
definitely.
and the houses look pretty quaint.
Yeah, and there's like balloons and stuff.
Compelling
There's like a
bubble.
fair happening. There's like a wedding by the lake, and it all feels like really
Game not finished.
connected.
Turn around.
Yeah. You're at the edge.
Yeah, cool.
But it's just a fun little time waster. You'll burn 15 minutes doing it. It's free on itch.io.
Cool.
And it's called
Deliver at all costs. Yeah.
Well, don't look in the trunk.
Speaking of driving crimes,
Me. So,
Takes the segue.
this week I have been playing GTA 5 online in a roleplay server.
Yeah.
Which is a weird, I know, choice for me. I'm not a GTA 5 person. Like
you told me this yesterday. I was like, what?
I know. I'm not a person who's ever been attracted to GTA at all. It's not a world that I find particularly like appealing, and I've never really spent much time in the online. But I raided a friend who was streaming it the other day, and he was playing in a roleplay server. And I guess I was loosely aware that roleplay servers exist, but I didn't think that people would take them seriously because I was like, it's GTA, and people just go around and shoot each other or whatever. But I was kind of watching a bit of the gameplay, and like everyone was in their own like job role and like taking it super seriously, and people had like characters and backstories and stuff. And I was like, oh, this is really interesting. And so I was kind of talking to him about it afterwards, and I was like, I'd really like to give this a go. And I guess the reason is because like the first kind of love affair I ever had with video games was with MUDs, like multi-user dungeons, which were all like role-play based. Like there was a sort of a gaming level-y element to them, but like primarily the point of the game was storytelling and like role-playing with other people and creating a character and like being really faithful to that character. So he got me a hookup with this particular server. This is NoPixel, which is a really popular server. I had no idea until I sort of told a few other people about it. And they're like, whoa, holy shit. So I was like, oh, God. Then I became really like nervous because I started reading about it. And yeah, they do take everything super, super seriously to the point where it's like you have to learn how to play in character And there is a lot of syntax and commands and things that you have to learn, and you can't ask people how to do that stuff out of character.
Yeah, right.
So there's this kind of weird code that you have to learn of how to ask how to do things in a way that sounds, and it's so weird and dumb but kind of awesome, because I understand that like if you let even one instance of like someone saying, hey, what button do I press, it pulls people out of the moment. So
what's an example of the kind of thing that you had to...
Okay, so I kind of I spawned in and I kind of ran around by myself for a bit, and I was sort of nervous and I didn't know who to talk to, and
were you given a role? Sorry to interrupt so early, but like...
no.
Right.
And you don't have a lot of money and you don't have anything. I had a phone, and that allowed me to kind of, there's like a network of things that you can tap into. So on Twitter, people post jobs and stuff, so you can go and do like odd jobs for people, earn some money, learn how to do things. So I kind of, the first thing I did was respond to a call out for sanitation workers. So that's garbage collection, which is like a good first job for me.
Yeah.
I had like designs to be like, I was like, I'm going to roleplay a psychologist and her name is Amanda or whatever. Like, you load in.
Now, Amanda, you want to put the green bin with the yellow bin. It's like, oh.
And you actually, like, your first character is almost like a burner character, because you can't focus on doing like a cool voice and like, role playing your whatever background that you've discovered when you're trying to learn just how to like
Totally
pick up an object,
Yeah.
So I
Because you don't know how to pick up, like, is it not normal GTA rules?
They will not tell you.
But is it not how GTA
What
works?
and again, I don't mean to jump ahead here, but the stuff I've seen has been so heavily modded that like the interfaces,
Right, okay.
the UI,
Okay.
everything.
Wow.
So when you saw like in this trailer that
You want to jump to the other clip, Will?
when you saw
'Cause
that
it's like- and jump
UI
about
of
halfway
the police
through.
stuff,
Yeah.
like none of that's from the game.
Right,
Not
okay.
GTA
This is
vanilla.
no pixel, but this is not my footage, I should say. I was like, I'm gonna stream it. Like my next time, I just was like nervous to start. So I kind of like tweeted a person, was like, hi, I'm new to the city. Like, I would love to do this job, but I need some training. And they were like, sure. They were like, can you ping me your location? And I was like, how do I do that? And they showed me how to do that. And then next up, this car pulls up with like 3 people in it, being like, hey, hop in. And I was like, cool. And I was
and there's like proxy voice chat.
yes,
Yep.
proxy voice chat. And I was like, how do I do that? And I was like, I'm having trouble finding the door handle. And they were like, oh, just flex that F muscle that you've got there. Just flex your F muscle. And I was like,
Amazing.
oh, yeah, cool. And then I was like, I feel like I'm really hungry. And they were like, oh, yeah, if you just look in the glove box, we can, there's a couple of sandwiches in there that you can grab. And I was like,
Drink a tab.
I'm having trouble grabbing the handle of the glove box. And they'd be like, oh, okay, so I need you to just like use your alternative eye. And I was like, alternative eye.
Amazing.
And they were like, your alternative eye. And I was like, oh, okay, right. So it's stuff like that. Like,
Wow.
and there's like not a single moment where you can just like
Just quickly tell me this.
outwardly say something. Yeah, there is like an out of character chat, but it's really limited and it's only used for like emergency type, like my whole thing wigged out or whatever.
It also must be for the sake of like, it's a very slippery slope for the whole game or style of play. If you start letting that stuff in, it turns into like, the reason this is obviously so intense and people play it so intensely is because that rule is there. It's like the second you open the door to a few little, when can we talk off table kind of stuff, then it just must happen in every other element of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so like if you there's like different routes that you can go in the game. If you want to be like a law-abiding citizen, you can go into government work. You could eventually work your way up and apply to be a psychologist or a doctor. And like doctors are really important because people are like always axing themselves, or like if you accidentally punch someone, which is like easy to do because it's just it's mapped to your mouse buttons.
Yeah.
You can knock someone out, and that's like an offense, right? So you got to take them to the hospital and
So
help them out.
you're not a criminal.
You don't know.
No,
you
it's not.
can
You're
be.
not spawning in. as, like,
you're
Michael,
not
like,
spawning in as like, oh, if I want money, I'm just going to shoot
No,
you.
so you can be a criminal in the game. There's people that can do that, but there's cops everywhere. If you run a red light, they'll pull you over.
Yeah, wow.
Like there was we were in our garbage truck trying to do our garbage
Oh, garbage.
Garbage dog.
Yeah. Just flex your dog key.
and we kind of like we saw the cop car there, and so we rolled over, and then the thing went woo, woo, and we were like, oh shit, and we pulled back over, and she was like, excuse me, miss,
And that cop is a person?
not until the light is green, please. And we were like, yeah, she's a person.
Oh my God.
She's role playing a police officer, and she's just like pulling people over if they like run a red light.
And
How many people are they putting in these servers?
I was going to say, are there
Hundreds.
NPCs or it's just people?
There are NPCs, but there's like heaps and heaps.
Wow.
And it's like you're constantly just meeting people who are like new or people who've been there for ages. So this like garbage truck crew that I had was me, this really nice British girl who was just like, I'm here to help you, this is fine. A preacher who had everything he said come out like this because he was a preacher. So I was like, so how long have you been a preacher? And he's just like, oh, well, I've done all kinds of different jobs, but I found my calling. And I was like, okay. And I was like, and do you collect garbage often?
like this,
Yeah. And he's like, well, I've been saving up for a car, so.
Oh my God.
And then the other person that was with us was a guy called Tommy Gangster something or other. He had like a 1940s thing going on.
Yeah.
And his name was Tommy and he talked like this.
Hey, oh.
And
Run
so-
the green light, you're going to get,
Yeah. So, it was really, really crazy and awesome. And the British girl that I was with told me that her first day in the server, she got like kidnapped and put in the boot of a car and driven out somewhere. And
Oh,
they
that's
took
so lovely.
They took all her money. But they have really strict rules around.
She wasn't obeying the laws. I had to teach her somehow.
The devil was in her.
Yeah, they have really strict rules around like not like power gaming. So like doing something like that to someone on the first day is actually like you.
Yeah, right. It's a
really-
dick move.
Yeah, it's a dick move, or like because there are certain emotes and animations that you can do, like pointing or like whatever. But if you, and this was like back to mud days, if you want to role play anything else, you just type out an emote. So it'd be like Stephanie scratches her head in confusion or something like that.
right.
So like an example of like breaking the rules would be like, a police officer puts you in handcuffs and then you just say, I break out of the handcuffs.
Yeah,
It's like,
right.
you can't do that.
Yeah.
And so people can get banned if they break the rules enough times. And the first time I tried to log in, the server was busted because some massive streamer who has a huge following got banned for breaking the rules like a bunch of times. Yeah. And then his whole audience did like a DDoS thing on the server so that it was like scuffed for everyone else.
shit.
And then it's like they're effectively held ransom by this one dude's like shitty community.
Oh, God.
So it's like it's a weird, crazy world to get into, but like
It's crazy, but it's amazing because it's kind of what I always wanted a GTA multiplayer game to be, in the sense that GTA multiplayer is a bit balked in the sense of any time I've tried to play it, it offers you so many activities and ways to live a virtual life. But it's so hard to play that game without just getting run over, having attack helicopters fly
Totally.
through,
Yeah.
shoot you. It's like, it's all crime-based, it's all power gaming, so it is. Everyone in there wants to be doing the most extreme thing, or it's easier to be doing something violent and extreme than to do something simple.
It's almost like hilarious and wonderful watching people take garbage collection so seriously.
Yeah.
Totally,
Even like
yeah.
we were collecting garbage for a while, and then like the guy who was kind of hanging out, he was like the main sanitation guy, who was a person, and he was like role playing that role. And he was like, just so you know, you guys should probably think about getting some uniforms when you want to do garbage collection, because when you go to the like dodgier neighborhoods, if like people see you running around, they might just like shoot you, like the criminals and stuff like that. And so I was like, oh, okay, right. And then there's different, like you can do like delivery work and you can go fishing and stuff, and then eventually you can work up to be like a paramedic or something. And when you see that happen, like when you see some massive shootout happens or something like that, and the paramedics roll in, they're like, sir, how many fingers am I holding up? Sir, you're bleeding out. Sir, can you hear me? Like it's just like they're in like full like role play action, and he's just like, ah!
And you're there just putting garbage in a
I
bin.
know.
Like, oh
And
my God.
Here's me being like,
I
hey,
shouldn't get
did you say,
involved.
was it my X muscle? Boom. And I'm like, oh God, I'm so sorry. This guy's like, on the floor. And I'm like, it's my first day. I'm so sorry. I just
It's my first day
Using
as a garbage collector.
That was remarkably close to my nose.
That's so good.
Flex
That's so
that
good.
effort.
And now none of this is official. You can't just go log into GTA Online and sideload no pixel, right?
Yes.
This is all like a bunch of modding.
It's really full on. No, and I think, and what I didn't realize and what I feel really grateful for and very lucky now is that this friend of mine got me up like a priority status, because to get into No Pixel, it's a massive
Apply.
queue.
Yeah, right.
Right.
And so people will sit there for hours and days and not get
Yeah,
in and
right.
stuff like that.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
but I'll stream it and it'll be
The
fun.
other thing, just quickly, that I feel like they're doing that the original GTA multiplayer didn't do was I think there's always been like a server limit playing GTA Online of like, I don't know, 12, 15, 20 people in the world at once, which is not enough considering how huge that game map is. So you'd load into one and be like, right, what am I going to do today? You look at the map and there's a blue dot there, there's a blue dot there, there's a blue dot there, and you're like, so there's either people way too far away from me or they're all just zooming in on me in a jet and just
Yeah.
doing straight runs. And it's like, neither is fun.
It's so populated, and it's populated with people from all over the world.
Incredible.
So you hear all kinds of
Oh, it's
accents.
so
But
cool.
like,
and like people playing weird characters, man. Weird.
It's something I'll never ever play, but will absolutely watch
someone
Yeah,
doing it. And also,
totally.
I wanted to ask, do you have a way of distinguishing who's an NPC and who's not? Like, is there a name over
It's
the
just
top?
the way they move.
That's what's even better. I was hoping
Yeah.
that was the case, because
It's-
that's
it's
the thing
literally
you
just the way
want.
they move. But like everything else functions normally. So I just like once I'd kind of got to know the people that I was working with, and I'm like, I feel like I like these people and I can trust them and stuff. We just all like exchange numbers, and they're like, yeah, just hit us up again if you want to go collect some garbage. And I was like, thanks, man. This is like a great first day.
Well-
At least I didn't get put in a trunk and stabbed or whatever. Like, I feel like I did all right.
Because that name thing is something that really broke Red Dead Redemption Online, Red Dead 2 Online. Because
Apparently,
it was
they're
like,
a roleplay service for that.
I would love to do Red Dead like
Yeah.
this,
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's like the baby steps to a whole world with functioning garbage sanitation. I'd much prefer to just be a guy who goes and skins raccoons and sits on a
in-
porch and is like, I make a bit of money and that's all I need
Maybe
to
take
do.
a shit in the middle of Main Street.
Yeah, exactly. Like they would have back then.
cares?
But the problem with that game playing online was always like you'd watch people walk around the town and then someone with a name
Yeah,
above
yeah.
them
Yeah.
would come
Yeah, yeah.
running into
Yeah,
town
yeah.
and be like, well, this just broke everything.
This-
Whereas
this
like,
whole MO is about as much sort of realism and faithfulness to the roleplay as possible. So
And
anything
then-
that would pull you out of that is like you can't.
Furious Magician in chat said there are also full-blown court cases in game for major crimes.
Oh, yeah.
My last question is, I was thinking,
there was speed dating going on at the ramen place where I went to get
that's
food.
incredible. Do people walk or run?
Both.
Right, because that's the thing of like in GTA, you're always just sprinting everywhere. But like, are people like walking on sidewalks as opposed to like running in the middle of the street?
Oh no, they're either in a car or they're running.
Okay.
but I think from what I've seen people streaming, it's like when they get to the building they're in, everyone kind of behaves and walks around
Yeah,
and like,
and they'll-
acts.
Okay, yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
that's
And
a-
there's you can't be like running around and just doing stuff
Totally.
inside.
Yeah.
You need to be like.
Yeah,
I
that's great.
do wonder, because this has taken off and this is far more advanced than I saw it maybe like 3 or 4 months ago. I wonder if anyone, they probably don't need to, the money they're making at Rockstar is taking note of how they're going to develop the next version of an online.
Really?
No,
Yeah.
I'm asking. I wonder if like, I would be surprised if they haven't noted the increased popularity in their game through role playing.
I mean,
It's
GTA
also-
Online pulls in like
That's
half
what I
$500
mean.
million a
it
year
doesn't
or something
need
like
to,
that.
but I'd love if they were, and if they were thinking about.
Well, if they were thinking of it more like the Oasis style, like this is going to extend beyond people interested in GTA. This is going.
Yeah,
They're going
yeah.
for the Second Life play again. Like enough time has passed.
It's
We've
also
forgotten
just-
about the pedophiles. Let's bring it back.
It's also just really kind of just wonderful and bizarre and like a bit like VR chat where you're all just kind of standing around because your character's mouth moves when you're talking or whatever. So we're all sort of hanging out in the ramen place just having a conversation about stuff and recalling memories and things like that. And this chick's like, you guys want to sign up for speed dating? And we're like, oh, no, we're good, thanks. She's like, all right, you just let me know. And we're like...
Amazing. That's so cool.
Yeah,
That's
it's
so cool.
nice.
That's cute.
It's like it's weird and fun, and I never thought I'd be playing GTA 5 online.
Totally.
But here I am.
Well, I look forward to the ongoing adventures. Gus, you've been role-playing real life as well.
I have. I've been role playing the constant bickering I do with my family. In a game I was playing actually only on Tuesday as part of the Ubisoft streams that I do now as part of my moonlighting on the Ubisoft gaming channel. I was playing Family Feud.
GTV.
Yeah, GTV is the channel I've been doing streams for and video for as well. And we've been playing a bunch of, we will be playing a bunch of back
If
catalogue.
the next word is pocket, this is perfect.
Yeah.
And so I ended up streaming this with Jess, the girl I do it with on the stream as well. And it was a heap of fun.
So much fun.
You watched it along as well. And Family Feud is one of those game shows that I've known the loose rules enough to be like, I thought I know how it worked.
When did this come out originally?
2019, I think.
Oh, so like
It's
quite
really,
typical.
really recent.
relatively new. And I always thought I knew the rules of Family Feud, but I realized all I'd ever did was watch the last 10 minutes, or 5 minutes, I should say, on when I'd get home from school and I'd want to watch
They do
Simpsons.
the speed round.
And it was always Fast Money, which Fast Money is the one at the end where two people answer the same series of questions and they put both answers up and they say who gets more. The game I never got used to actually understanding the rules for were how everyone buzzes at the start to get the answer to a question, and then there are usually like between 4 and 5 or 6 more answers to that question, and it's the 100 people are surveyed, and you need to get the ones that people answered or the most people responded with. And it's a weird game to play as a video game because you would think the idea of having to type in your answer gets really finicky, but it's quite intuitive in the sense that it's like you always have a couple of answers in your head. You're never completely stumped, or you're rarely completely stumped. It's more about trying to think about what's the most common answer, this is the one that the majority would have answered, because if more people in the survey did, you get more points. Again, I'm probably explaining this to people, some older people.
Miss Silver points out. So basically, the whole game. Gus didn't understand 95% of it.
Yeah, but I'm now.
That was like me in dodgeball.
But you did it in such a lovely way where it's like, I've got to not get hit by the ball, but I can catch the ball. I'm like, Steph, it's dodgeball.
I didn't know.
But I feel like and I'm sure you're about to get to it. I feel like you're burying the lead of, it's just so much, it's such a great transition, like, of that, like, game show. And unlike something like Wheel of Fortune or something, it actually is so much fun to play because there's genuine, like, thinking about it, because it's that whole, like, we asked 100 people this thing and what was the most popular answer, and playing as a co-op, you and Jess sitting there and I was in the background and I'm like yelling out suggestions and every time was wrong, and then I would like turn around, I'm like, I don't give a
You were so
fuck.
sheep. Turn back around.
But it was so much fun to watch, and like having chat interact and stuff. Yeah.
And it was just something that I thought might be fun for a round or two. But you can play co-op, and so you can go against the AI who we smashed. But it is a really fun couch multiplayer game.
Mr. Eyebrows over here.
Well, the whole thing is the other thing is, obviously, if you ever played this in real life by being on the show, you would get your one chance to engage with the game from time to time.
Yeah.
Whereas here, you're essentially the whole team, and so you're just making these extra avatars, which I'm sure if you were playing, there might be a multiplayer mode where you can have 5 controllers or something. But essentially, you pass the controller down, and you can make each version of your family in it as well, which is kind of unnecessary, but at the same time, it was just a fun way. I made 5 versions of me, or like Gus, Goose, Angus.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
Coastal City says in their friend group they play it as the last game of the night all the time.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Well, is it still on Australian TV? Grant Denyeau's version was running for a while.
So. No,
I used to watch
I only knew the Grant Denyer version as like a comeback. I never saw it before that.
And
I used to
the
watch the old
Steve
one.
Harvey guy in the States is
Yes.
a bit of a lunatic.
Yeah.
Why?
He's like a full-on religious zealot.
He's got some great. There's some great.
He's very
very
He's very
funny.
sharp.
Yeah.
But
But
he's very
he is
funny.
just
And I used to watch this, I think, when Bert Newton used to host it. But again, I used to watch the last 5 minutes. So it's been a really lovely thing to be like, I finally know how Family Feud is played. And I'm sure there's a lot of younger people who've never actually watched the show. And it's a really fun party style game.
It was tons of fun.
There's this like cheesy host who has all these crap lines. Every time the round starts, it swoosh. The camera swooshes
nice.
past the car you're going to win as well, which is this generic.
There's the exact amount of
fantasy.
graphic put into the game that it needs.
Yeah.
Totally.
And importantly, I think with a lot of like board game or game show transitions to video games, I found that the downtime was really low.
Yes.
Like it didn't mess
Yeah.
around with like loading to the next like hiccup of like getting the answer loaded or something. Like it actually flowed like you were watching the TV show. So I was surprised at how much fun it was.
Again, another point that's really fun to play with someone is that you can you can play along, because if they're answering the questions, you need to kind of start banking a few in your head if it does get passed to you, answers potentially. So it's not, as you said, Nick, it's not one of those games that when it's not your turn, you have nothing to do.
You're passive,
You're very much trying to think of the answers ready to go, or like a way to maybe realize that you only know one answer for this round, so you're going to pass it to them and have that more time to think about it. So,
They should build some like stream thing like Jackbox has, where like there can be audience
I
participation.
believe it
It
does
is
have
there,
a streamable version, because we were streaming it more traditionally. We couldn't double that up, but I think there is a way to do it through maybe the gameplays servers,
there's a
and
thing.
you can have, I think,
Nice.
people tap in.
Yeah, cool.
So I'd look into that as well.
it's good.
But it was heaps of fun and made for a great stream, but makes for a good party game as well. So
Great.
would definitely recommend it. Haven't played much else. I've hit 150 prestige on
done.
COD. Just get
Well
a little
done.
COD tap in there. I'm
I
gonna
played
get
that.
to 200.
I played that.
couldn't.
That Crank Die Hard.
Oh, yeah.
mode, which I had not played all up until yesterday.
Hardpoint.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's fun.
Yeah,
it's
really fun.
hectic.
Yeah,
It's very hectic.
insane.
They've added a few more. They've rotated. This is the Action 80s thing.
They brought in standoff map as well, which is
Yep.
cool. Yeah.
And there's now Rambo's gun game.
Yep.
Some silly things. No one's playing them. I can't find
What is
anyone.
150 prestige? When I used to play COD, you would hit level 50 and you would prestige.
Well, it's the same
And you'd be at
thing
level
now.
1.
Yep.
and then you would just go to level 50 again, and you could prestige twice.
Yes.
So if you prestige, have you hit level 50?
You hit
150 times.
So you hit level 50, and then
Yeah.
you prestige, and you go back to 1.
Yeah.
And then from there on, every time you prestige, it's just hitting 50. And then, but the number keeps going up. So then you go from 50 to 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 is your next prestige.
Yeah.
110,
50,
50, yeah.
100, 150, 200 plus.
Yeah.
So you're getting a badge for each.
So you don't reset
Right.
back to 1 and have a new
Is there
badge.
a
You get a
cap?
new badge. No, there's no
Sky's
cap.
the limit.
I think
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Yeah. So
Of
they've just.
prestige.
I think they got the thing of like, oh yeah, people don't like seeing the number go down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I got to
Yeah,
50,
cool.
then went back and then did 50, 100, 150.
Yeah, cool.
I'm on my
Nice.
way to 200 to finish.
So you're effectively at level 200.
Yep.
Yeah, but I want to get to
But a prestige
200
fun.
and I want to
Yeah,
finish
cool.
the
Okay.
Season 3 Battle Pass.
Good on you.
Because I've just got my hooks in, and as I said to Nick on the podcast on Monday, I'm very good at it.
Yep.
And so is Nick.
I'm very good at it too.
We're very good at that game.
And we think that we should play with Miles, who is not very good at it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he's
rubbish.
rubbish.
You can just shout at people while they play. So yeah, haven't played much else, but I did go and make a purchase this week that I'm very happy about, and so much so that I thought I'd talk about it on the show. I was tossing up between buying a new headset to play for my console, and I ended up landing on the new Xbox.
Put them on real slow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, put them on real slow. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Fucking delicious.
Now look like you're having fun.
Oh,
Look like you're
tweak
having
those
fun.
knobs.
Look like you're having fun.
He is having fun. He's tweaking knobs.
Yeah, no, you could tweak the whole knob. All of that is
me
a knob.
yeah,
the
it's
knob.
very.
Okay, explain.
So I
explain how knobs
I stood
work.
in a JB Hi-Fi looking between these and the Sony Pulse headphones for a while. Pros and cons in both. The reason I settle on these is because I probably play all my multiplayer games on Xbox. I don't play.
It's a pretty.
was about to say-
I don't know why you were tossing up between the two headsets. Then.
Because the Pulse ones do 3D audio, and the Pulse ones have a 3.5mm jack that I could run into my... Peter, it's not funny. I can hear everyone in the room. It's kind of funny. Well, they've muted themselves somehow. Let me just hang and turn them up. Oh, fuck off. The Pulse 3D ones have a 3.5mm jack that would fit into my Xbox controller.
Yes, I do.
So in theory, I could have bought them
Yeah.
and used them for my PlayStation and also use them for my Xbox gaming.
Can I touch a knob?
You can you can put them on.
All right.
PlayStation. These do not work with my PlayStation at all. There's
Yep.
3.5mm jack.
Yep.
Oh, they're comfortable.
Yeah.
But they are.
I'm going to put them on next.
They're Bluetooth.
Can I put them on next?
Yeah, okay, I'll do it after.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry, Gus.
No.
We
We
just
all
took ages to get to the point. What was it? They're Bluetooth.
I kept getting interrupted.
Sorry, go.
True.
So the pros about these ones that are really good is they are very comfortable. The sound quality is great. They are Bluetooth, so they connect Bluetooth to your Xbox, but you can also pump in another device simultaneously.
What?
So I've been listening to podcasts and
That's
music.
You can
off my phone.
crazy.
Does anything else do that?
I
So it's got a
know.
mixer like the Arctis
look
7s.
who's interested in it.
Yeah.
I don't
The Arctis
know.
7s do have a
Yes.
they've got dual channel in, right? You've got a mixer built into them.
Yep.
So there's you would have the chat channel and the game channel on the my SteelSeries headset. But I've never seen anything like it.
It's
on console.
really, it
That's
works
really
super,
cool.
super well in terms of just pairing the
That's the
second
dream,
device.
because I always just have an
bud in.
AirPod
Yeah.
and they're crammed
And
in.
the other thing, the big fucking killer for
these are
console gaming for me is
these are
that
live.
Discord is still the best place to
Yes.
have voice chat.
I know,
And
I'm
if you could feed Discord off your phone or even your PC,
Yeah, that would
Bluetooth
work.
to your headset
Totally.
in one channel
'Cause
and Xbox in the other,
When
that'd
I'm
be so
console
good.
gaming, I always have.
Though your mic might not go back. Do you Bluetooth mic back to
I haven't tested it.
device, or is it
Might.
only in?
Good.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, so as Nick was saying, it stops that problem. The other thing that
and
I
they work
really-
on your PC.
Yes.
Yep.
If you've got a Bluetooth receiver on your PC.
With all the bells
They
and
are-
whistles. Do they have bells and whistles?
In what sense?
Well, like if we're looking like Pulse 3D headset has the 3D audio.
So there's
which
sound
is, which is
profiling.
just like basically surround sound,
When
but yeah.
when they pair to the Xbox, I've got it paired to an Xbox Series X. So I assume it has the same settings with previous
So-
ones. When you go to your accessories, you can go into sound profiles and do a mixer in there. So I took a bit of the bass out because they're super bassy.
Yep.
And when you're chatting to friends, they're coming through very high, and
Yeah,
the
right.
bass of the game's too much. You can't hear them. What I really loved, while it's a bit of a wonky design, Pete, can I get a close up just to? I do really like these bits sitting outside of the cups because this one is just straight volume. So you can just play with the volume on that side. This side is your chat to game mixer. So essentially, there's a sweet
really
spot in the
nifty.
middle that you can feel. See
Yeah.
if you turn that just to the right, you'll feel this tiny
Oh, the click?
way. Just you'll feel a tiny little there. and then
It's like
you can
cracking
go
a safe.
Go past
Yeah,
that.
it is like cracking a safe.
That's cool.
So that's the sweet spot. That's saying 50-50 game sound and chat sound. But halfway through, you can just go yank it that way, and you turn the game off, and you just chat to your friends.
Yeah.
And if your friends are being jerks,
nice.
like my friends who bailed on Mudrunner, SnowRunners
course.
last week, you can just go the clean other way. You're not talking to them.
That's
The
really
game's-
clever. That's a
I get some-
cool,
I have
cool
some
build.
of the I have the PlayStation Pulse ones, and they're really nice. But I
The-
want those as well.
I got the
thing
Pulse
that I've
ones as
seen-
well. I use them all the time, but I don't play enough Xbox games. Maybe
Also,
I
I did some tests online as well of the sound quality of what it sounds like for like the mic, and I listened to the Pulse 3D mic, and it sounded very scratchy compared to this, which again just like wraps up. Which aesthetically, that really shits me that it doesn't.
Oh, yeah.
It just
That's
It doesn't tuck away anyway.
It just sits up there like gently tucked away.
Can I ask-
my favorite new thing? My Logitech ones just unplugs and plugs back in.
Oh, okay, right.
That's my favorite.
It's got a cheeky little mute button at the bottom, but it's not covered in buttons. And that was the other thing. The Pulse one just had way too many versions. There's just a nice on and off button and a mute button. That's it.
It's a very slick piece of kit.
It
I
is.
saw
It's
I saw even like Linus Tech Tips reviewed that and were like, it's hard to fault this
Yeah.
as a piece of
find
kit.
it amazing that
and they're
it's
negative
taken-
about everything.
It's taken this long to get a premium headset out of like for console.
This was
It's not a third party.
This is $139 as well, which
is not
I
that
would say that's
bad.
relatively cheap.
Can you use them on your desktop if you want
Yep.
to?
Yeah. I've got a Bluetooth adapter, so I can use them as Bluetooth.
Does it
as
have?
well.
Does that have a 3.5 million?
No,
so you can use it with
that's
your
the
PlayStation.
thing it doesn't
No.
have.
Yeah, okay.
And I thought about that for a while, and I thought, as I said, I don't do any multiplayer chat. I think
This is not sponsored, Simon.
yeah,
We're just excited.
100% not
'cause
sponsored. I
tech is
went
cool.
and bought these, but I was just very impressed with them.
Does the PlayStation have Bluetooth?
PlayStation I can pair my AirPods to.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So you
totally-
can't pair that?
PlayStation did this with 4 as well. You
they
can't
block it.
pair. I think I couldn't pair my AirPods to the PS4,
Yeah,
but I
right.
can to the
So
5.
you really
but
hate
these do not
crossplay.
work.
they do make crossplay, don't they?
They definitely don't let you.
Yeah, right,
I watched
okay.
someone online try that.
I
That's
saw a headline a couple of days ago. There was a French Xbox blog that they removed the post. I don't know whether what's going on there, but it was about Microsoft having or Xbox having an exclusivity on Dolby Atmos for
Oh, yeah, but that's about to expire.
no, for another 2 years from
Right, okay,
okay.
right,
which
right,
was
right.
what that thing was about. And then it was like they obviously shut that down, and maybe it's because they're shutting down the idea or whatever. It was like a little bit of a leak. But people who use that have complaints about the console itself, the series consoles, having a bit too long a latency to get to devices using that stuff as well. So have you experienced any kind of like there's a
latency in terms of.
you do an action on screen and there's like a bit of a disconnect between when you're hearing
Not
it?
at all.
Yeah, you might. I mean, you might not be on the Atmos or the Dolby setup with that, but
Possibly not.
Yeah. Please name of headphones literally begging, says Varsuvius.
Xbox wireless headset. I just
They're
looked it up.
the official Xbox wireless headphones.
It's called the Xbox wireless headset. If you Google that, you cannot buy them on Amazon. I was about to buy them. You got to go through the store.
My only very superficial gripe that I have with them is the choice of noises for turning on, off, muting, and other things. They've gone with some very generic sounds that don't traditionally go in an upwards or downwards tone. So you turn them. One of the noises is bling, 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 and the other noise is bling, 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 bling. And I'm like,
yeah, right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
needs
And
to
then
be.
like muting is like blim, blim, and then unmuting is blim, blim. And you're like, no, I can't tell the difference. These need to be. And my friends shadow me, and they're like, no, that like totally makes sense. I'm like, no, sound on is like dun dun, and sound off is dun, dun.
Yeah.
It's like it has to go up.
Yeah, up or down. Yeah.
I might
There's
just
a
be getting
cadence to
old and not
this.
being able to tell the
No,
difference.
you're right.
My headset has this sassy chick who goes battery fully charged.
Conversation.
Battery 90%.
We've had this conversation
fucking
because
coggy
my
about
old noise cancelling headphones that I used to have for flights would have they had a sassy girl that went like, battery level low, battery level medium. And then she got flirty. She got like a little flirty, and maybe I was jet lagged and just really lonely on a flight. But she went, battery level high, and I was like, hi.
I know.
But it was actually breathier. It was breathier. It was
Okay.
battery
Of
level.
course, it was present.
high.
Yeah.
I keep thinking about this woman. I'm like, who is she? Where does she live?
Yeah.
What does she do with
What are
her?
her batteries like right now?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, they're good. They're good fun. And I was very happy with them, especially since I'd been in a JB for an hour just doing that thing going like,
I don't
Someone
play
was-
PlayStation, but
Sorry, I like
these ones on a console I play all the time.
I literally at
Which
one
one should I buy?
I literally loved the white of the PlayStation. I was like, they would look cool.
See, that's why I'm just in. I think they look awesome. I'm just in the exact opposite camp where I've got the Pulse 3D headset. I play basically everything on PlayStation, so
Yeah.
it's like
Pulse
I would
looks
buy
cool
those.
too. I really like the
Yeah,
look of them. It's almost like a little halo on you.
Yeah, I love how
Yeah.
they look, and the sound's phenomenal. Like the Tempest engine that is their version of like Atmos is insane.
Triangles on, the cups are nicer on these than
They're lighter, yeah.
these are lighter
They're
and they feel
super light,
super
yeah.
soft and
That's
nice.
crazy light.
I
Yeah,
did
cool.
find the Pulse ones a little like
They might not have a lot of, though we've all worn the Pulse 3D as well. There's no noise cancellation really in either. Like I would think with how light they
nice.
are, you hear the whole room. And it was the same when I was wearing the PlayStation ones. You can still hear the room.
Yeah.
Which is good. I don't want noise cancelling in a headset like that.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, great.
battery level great. I was meant to say headphones feel great, and I started with battery level.
Yeah. you fucking-
That's okay. That's okay.
Nick, what have you been playing?
I don't know. Will, what have you been playing?
I've been playing stuff. I can do more terrible links to things. I've been playing stuff. I've been playing a game called Necromunda Gun for Hire, or Guns for Hire. It's set in the Warhammer 40k universe. Universe I know nothing about.
And after playing this,
Pardon?
do you know any more?
Yeah, even less, I'd say. There's like a
He's
massive...
regressed in knowledge.
Well, there's like a huge exposition dump. There's lots of like story beats where you just stare at a character that's telling you things. There's because you're a hero or you're a gun for hire, you kind of aren't you don't have alliance to anyone. There's 3 different clans you can take jobs for. It's a Twitch shooter basically. So yeah, even that is
with
something I
wall
don't.
running.
It's got wall running. You unlock a grapple pretty early on to pull out shields.
Were you just chasing that oh fuck, what was the wall running grappling game that we all loved?
Titanfall.
No, the ninja
one
one.
this year that you loved.
Oh,
You're gonna-
Ghost Runner.
yeah, you just chasing
Totally.
that Ghost Runner.
I saw,
Right.
I saw that you could run on a wall, and I'm like, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm in.
But is this like so? This is Warhammer like 40k
Like the
universe?
tabletop. Yeah. So
But you're not like a space marine.
no, I
you're
don't.
But
No, I think you're just a gun.
You're a gun for hire.
You're just a gun.
And it's probably next to so. I keep trying to think about this because I get very confused with Warhammer and I don't really like it as a universe.
You're the
But
perfect person to weigh in on this.
so allow me to no, but in terms of the games they've made a lot of games both for regular Warhammer and Warhammer because Vermintide is regular Warhammer, right? Or Warhammer
That's Warhammer, yeah.
and Warhammer 40k, which is
is
Space
the
Marine,
future
is the
stuff,
future, which is what this is. So I'm trying to think because they often do like, it's a tactical kind of like RTS style board tabletop game. But the video games that have been made off them have been there's Blood Bowl for regular Warhammer, which is that like sports spin-off version. They haven't done a lot of action, twitchy, fast-paced shooters from memory. Like Space Marines was a third-person shooter.
chunky act. That was a Gears of War where this is very much an Unreal Tournament style shooter.
Yeah, and I was just thinking, like, this feels like I haven't seen... Oh, no, there's a VR Warhammer 40k one where you play a chick who's apparently it's a really cool shooter, but I haven't seen them take the universe and do, like, a traditional shooter out of it.
I would say the footage looks very generic and awful.
Yes.
But does it feel good to play?
It feels pretty good. I feel like it's everything you would expect from what you're looking at.
Yeah.
But it never goes beyond that, and I don't think it ever nails anything.
Yeah.
So it's super fun to play. I think it's only like an 8-hour campaign as well. So if you just want to shoot some things for 8 hours, it's super fun. And even like as much as it's generic to look at, there's a few cool like locations. I've got a clip where
Is there co-op or anything?
not that I could see. It was like basically launch campaign, and then
okay.
it was just this. But you get like there's this level where you're basically trying to get onto the top of a train. So the whole time you can look up and see a train passing by. So there's like this interesting level design, but also in this moment I'm entirely lost because everything is insane. Like,
You look like a space marine looking for their car.
because I'm like, that's a shadow. Is that where I need to go? Because it's like it's giving you a double jump, but you don't actually need a double jump here. You need to go down. So it's like it's trying to introduce so many bits of this kind of genre, but I don't think it ever quite just there. Will just there, just in there. There you go.
Nice.
So yeah, it's totally fine. It's fun. but I don't think it doesn't do anything new.
I assume it's serviceable as a shooter, and like people who love this universe, people who love Warhammer Fantasy, Warhammer 40k, would happily take this and get to enjoy that universe.
And
from
like,
this perspective.
there is so many bits of lore. There's like a camp that you're kind of in at the top here, where you talk to NPCs, and I'm sure it's all very interesting if you're within this world.
Yeah,
and know
right.
what's going on. But I don't, so it was very strange.
Is anyone else constantly surprised by Will's choice of games?
That was my thought this entire time. Is just that I don't
like Mortal
know why
Kombat last week.
Yep.
You chose to play
This week.
but I'm enjoying the journey that you're going.
Listen, I didn't know why I played it either until you reminded me of Ghost Runner, and I think that's probably
Yeah, right.
Like-
Subconsciously, that's what
Yeah.
pulled you to it. Yeah, cool.
Sure.
Okay, good. That's a.
So, where are you playing this and how much is it?
It's a PS5. I think it was $60, so it's not like it's a very pretty game for like a PS5 next gen. $60. It's good.
Yeah, okay.
It's fun.
Is it
It looks like it'd be on PS4 and also maybe PS3.
pretty?
Yeah,
It's like
shiny.
I would say not.
It's-
Will's been thirsty for PS5 games.
Will
I know.
has
So it's
been
like when something drops, he's
And
like,
you know-
I'm playing this.
Every friggin' level gives you a trophy as well.
Oh, there it is.
this is the
There it
Doritos
is.
mega run of the fucking
Doritos
PS5.
Mega Run.
And the
what
truth
it's
reveals
about.
itself.
I'm never gonna finish it. It's just very exciting. It's the little reward. It's
On Steam, $47 right now. I would probably play this if it was like $10-15.
Yeah.
Like it looks like it'd be fun to just run through because I love mouse shooters. Like
Yep.
this looks like Unreal Tournament, and like
Yep.
I could just like grit my teeth and play it because there would be a few fun moments through the campaign if it was that.
I like
but it's
how-
just it's a bit steep. It's $60.
I like how shallow the
Yeah.
attempt to add a gun wobble in is. Like, as you're right, it is that.
That's my like biggest gripe with looking at it now. Is it's just
Well, it's one of those.
very rigid.
It's one of those classics where the
So
evolution
old.
of shooters based on like how you carry a weapon and your camera wobbles. And this is, as you're right, very much Unreal Tournament that the gun just goes whoop, 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 as you sprint around. But people, that's a very satisfying old like nostalgic way to play a shooter. So
Age of Doom's on your side says it has some jank, but it's a fun game. So there you go.
cool.
it's getting surprisingly good reviews. It's like getting medium to good.
It's definitely a mid-range game, but it's like it's totally fun.
Yeah, nice.
If it's priced accordingly.
No Outriders.
I still love that you're
wow.
like, it does take you to some interesting locations. There's this factory, there's this warehouse that's underground.
Here's a sewage
There's
plant.
a sewer that's under a train.
Yep.
It's like, I'm with you, Will, the whole way, but it's like, if nothing is encased in metal, then it will not be a location that
Yeah,
you're going
totally.
to travel to.
And then me this week. So I've had a bit of a very game week. The Call of Duty, Destiny. No one gives a shit about those. Been playing them. Great games. Grindstone, a game that I loved playing on my phone. I just want to quickly touch on. I picked up on the Epic Game Store as a second screen game. After having my time with Loop Hero, I realized the value of something that can just sit there until I'm ready to look at it again, and then just like punch in a couple of
Moves.
and then like
Feed a baby.
keep writing up a rundown for a Resident Evil special tomorrow, like that sort of thing. Grindstone I really loved on my phone. It translates really great on PC. I love everything about it. A small thing that you can resize the window to however you want, so you can literally just like fit it
Yeah.
into
Oh,
like
lovely.
like in between Slack and
Yeah.
something. The only problem with this on Epic Game Store, $30 for a game
Wow.
that was free on the Apple Arcade. I saw it was on PC and I was like, oh, cool.
Is there like why do they think that it's?
Yeah,
premium
I just
is-
don't know.
is a
The, like,
match
I'm all for people.
character thing.
I think mobile games are too low. Like, if this was like $10, that's perfect for me. But the reason I got it, I saw that it was up, and then I went, oh, that'll be like $15, and I went there, it was $30. I was like, oh god. But I realized I have a $15 like Epic coupon
Yeah,
sitting
yeah.
there
Is
that what you
that
got?
I think everyone has.
I think we have until like anyone who has an Epic account has until like 2 weeks from now. Or
2 weeks until now. And I looked and I was like, I never buy anything on the Epic Store, so I may as well just use it on this. So got it, and I ended up with a discount and blah, blah, blah. It ended up being like $8. So if you have that thing, it's perfect for that. So
It's difficult with a matching kind of game, a match tile style game. Traditionally, they are the ones that were the first to fall into the freemium model
Totally.
online. So it's like you're used to seeing all your Candy Crushes and things being free. And then that was the reason that this game is actually great, because the gameplay is so much more satisfying, I find, than a Candy Crush or something. And it's the reason I had Apple Arcade. I had
Yep,
one game installed,
totally.
and it was this.
And it's just a great game, and it stays a great game on PC.
You find it just so really quickly. the reason I got over it is because I got to like a level 128 and it wasn't getting any harder. Like
Yep.
you get to a point where you're pretty standard good. You get all the enemies coming around with shields and stuff.
I think that's why having it as this idea of like something that's just happening on my other monitor that doesn't need to really challenge me. It's just like something to do a bit. But that's why I fell off it.
I definitely got to a point where it was like
Everyone's logging into Epic now.
yeah, good.
Among Us is the free game at the moment, so get yourself a copy of Among Us. I'm sure you don't have it.
The second game I've been playing this week is Griftlands. So Griftlands is a game that has been on my radar for so long. It's been something I've been wanting to play for ages, and I just never picked it up. It's been in early access for years, literal years. It's the new, I guess, game from Clay, who did like Don't Starve, Mark of the Ninja,
Clay,
Invisible Ink.
KLEI.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So all they make is amazing games.
Yeah.
And they announced Griftlands in 2018, I think. And at the time, it was an open world RPG. And it's now a card battler.
Okay.
And it has been for ages. But it came out of early access on the 1st. So I actually got given this by SithCat for my birthday. I dipped into it like the week she gave it to me. And because obviously I love deck builders and card games. And I looked at it and I played it for a bit and I was like, there's a lot going on here. And then I sort of quit and got distracted with other games. And then I went back to it this week because I was like, I've just heard so many great things and let's get into it. And I'm really intrigued by it now. The basic premise is it's heavily story based. You're a bounty hunter. And it's all about a bounty hunter story. Great characters in it. A really compelling, fun narrative that pulls you through this world. But when you're not interacting with all these other characters with dialogue, which you normally don't see in a card game, because it's like Slay the Spire or something. It's like that kind of run. It's not playing against opponents, you're playing against the computer. The way that you interact, there are 2 card systems. So there is a conversation card game and then a battle card game. Cool. And the conversation is a card, like a battle, but it's instead of using weapons and stuff, you use arguments and quips and retorts and that sort of thing. And
or if you're Steph, an occasional punch by mistake.
you
mix the cards up
when you accidentally hit the X button.
It was a real accident.
And it is really fascinating seeing how the dialogue system, the dialogue fighting works, and then the normal fighting. The difficulty with it is there are so many mechanics in this. There are so many keywords on every card. You have an argument, you have a core argument, and then you have sub-arguments that circulate your core argument. Wow. You can add comprehension and composure to your sub-arguments. Like, there are just systems on systems on systems, and they all work together really well. I have a bit of a gripe that they're abstracted a bit too far for me. Like, it's like composure is defense. Or like shield, but they've called it composure because it's like your composure in an argument. Yeah. But it's like you have to remember all these words about like what does this thing do in relation to if I was having an argument with somebody?
Yeah.
Like what does this card do?
Is one more fun than the other, just off your like short amount of time playing in terms of the card fighting or the card argument?
There seems to be more tactic in the conversation stuff because there are more different ways that your cards can interact with your own cards and own arguments. The fighting one is a little more basic, but is arguably more satisfying because you're seeing like you're building up big combos and that sort of thing. Whereas you're not in the conversation is more like chipping away at these like arguments.
I find that such a tough thing to balance.
Totally.
In RPGs and things like that. I know with like the Baldur's Gate demo, like one of the biggest pieces of feedback that came out of that was just like the only way to get enough XP to progress to the next area was to kind of kill everything.
Yeah.
So if you'd successfully kind of talked your way out of situations, you ended up having to go back there and just murder everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We had a great argument. Are the arguments themselves set up, fight, finish the conversation, or are you when you're having that?
There's dialogue happening.
There's dialogue happening, but it's more like, oh, you got me there, or you can't say that to me.
Yeah,
it's
right.
like, but the setup to it is like, convince Bree to help you fight this person, and then you either will succeed at that and she'll help you, or you'll fail and you'll have to fight
And
that
do you get
person.
dialogue on the results of those? Like that's when you see the
Yes,
stuff.
at the end,
okay,
yeah.
right.
And then it builds into the story, which is really cool. The fact that like the outcome of these fights then like builds into the narrative of the game. But then you can also go up to someone and like they want to fight you, and you can be like, no, let's try and talk this out. And then you can see, and if you fail at that, then you go into like a hard fight. But if you talk your way out of it, then they're like, all right, I'm mad at you, but I'm going away now. So I'm really, really interested in it, and I'm thinking about it all. I've been thinking about it all day and wanting to go back to it. My other gripe with it, as my last thing, is that I realize it's very difficult making card games. I think the thing about something like Magic or Hearthstone is that the cards themselves are really, really fun. It's not just the system is good, and it's not just the gameplay is good. It's that the cards all do interesting things, and these cards all do basically like statistic buff. It's like add 2 to your composure and 4 attack against this person, 6 attack if you have 2 stacks of whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas in something like Hearthstone, it's like Unleash the Hounds is like a card that you play that adds cards based on how many opponents there are. They're all dogs, and those dogs all have charge. It's like there's a ton of personality to every card there, so it's fun to play, and it's also like, oh, I know this card, what this card does. Whereas it's like here, I've got 6 copies of the same card, and Slay the Spire has this. It's like the developers. It's almost like the code of the game.
Code underneath,
and
like
then
giving it the polish.
Exactly. And then Hearthstone went, okay, that's all the code. Now let's add just shitloads of like cool art and fun character names.
They probably
and that
did
sort
it
of
the other way, and they made all the cool art and fun mechanics, and then they went to the developers
does this
like,
work?
"Now make this
Yeah,
work."
totally.
And they're like,
oh, totally. Because I've been playing it. I've played about like 2.5 hours or something. Still have no fucking idea how to play this game. But yeah, really, really compelled by it. So I'm definitely going to go back. The third thing I played came out today. I played it in the office. It's what I was playing in the studio before we started. It's called Overboard. It is fantastic. So it is a adventure game. It's like a detective adventure game. It's like all my normal bullshit. It's like Nyoja. It's like Paradise Killer, all this sort of stuff.
Right.
It's set on the boat in the 1950s. Will, could we just play the beginning of this, and then I'll tell you why it's really fun. So this is the first thing that happens in the game.
Or the SS Hook, bound for New York.
Thank you, Peter. My eyes.
So this is the villain sees, and it says that we're leaving for America. You play as the wife, and that you and your rich husband are having money troubles.
At the rail, Malcolm and I told him I could see dolphins playing in the wake of the boat. He leant over to see them.
She pushed him.
The game's called Overboard. Just a little further, dear.
So I grabbed him by the belt. And I threw him overboard.
Just like the title of the film, an inkle game.
Start at the moment.
That's cool.
Yeah. So this is from the devs who made like 80 Days and that other adventure game. I can't remember the name of it. It'll come to me later. So the point is
Very short.
It's so we'll skip ahead to actual gameplay. So it's a detective game, but you play as the murderer and you're trying to get away with your murder. So you're on this ship and you push your husband overboard, and then you've got like 8 hours until you arrive in New York, and you need to get away with it.
You gotta play it cool.
And everyone on the ship is trying to figure out what happened.
I'm just a lady. I couldn't possibly have come up with something so diabolical.
Totally. And then so it's entirely like dialogue. It's like choose your own adventure, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as you go
Fall asleep.
and the idea behind it is
That'll burn time.
you have to replay this over and over again. So I was like, I wonder how this works. I went through my first gameplay, and I won't really spoil anything because the joy is finding this stuff out. But I talked to some people. I found some stuff. I sort of went, oh, this is interesting, like what this thing is, blah, blah, blah. And I get to the end of the day, and they're like, you need to come into the restaurant. I'm like, what's wrong? And they're like, it'd be better if you just came with us. And they go in there, and then it's like the confrontation drawing, sort of like... and it's like the drawing room, the
Poirot
detective.
style.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Wait,
And
you
then-
get
Very
busted?
Good.
And then, so they're talking like, what happened? I managed to not get accused Oh, well, I did get accused, but I managed to like talk people around to go, no, actually, I think this person killed them. And then someone else came in and said, no, actually, it was suicide. So, blah, blah, blah. And then that's what everyone figured happened. And then it ends, and a character comes up to me and is like, yeah, you're going to have to do this again because it's suicide, we can't cash the life insurance policy. So you're going to have to convince everyone that you killed him. And your character's like, what do you mean? And then it cuts to that scene again, and she tosses him overboard. But now there's this list of objectives that come up, and it's like, see if you can get into X's room. What was going on with X and that thing that they were talking to you about?
Right.
And there's like 3 things that are all related to the conversations I had the last time.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, now go explore this stuff and figure out. And it's like, this
branching
is stuff
narratives or branching objectives each time you play.
And this is stuff that I don't think I could have done the first go round, because I kind of have now unlocked a bunch more dialogue from those people and a bunch more scenarios.
Yeah, great.
And the idea is that you need to, you can't, and it says like, get away with it and cash the life insurance policy right now on my 2 objectives. And it's like, I've done 4 runs and each time I've failed one of those 2 things. One of them, I ended up in prison in New York. But it is so cool. It is so funny. The dialogue is fantastic in it. She is such a great character. She's just so delighted to be rid of like this piece of shit husband of hers.
Is it all spoken or just...
Some of it is voice acted,
Yep.
and then some of it isn't.
Okay.
And I took a photo of one line that I meet this like super sassy old woman, and I'm complaining about my husband, and I was like, have you seen him? I don't know where he went. And she goes, husbands are terribly unreliable, worse than motor cars, and yet you still have to crank them. It's just,
that's gold.
it's super cool. It's on PC. I'm playing it on Switch at the moment, and it's like $18 or something.
Yeah, hell
but
yeah.
it is like all the stuff that I love about Paradise Killer that turns you off
without
it is,
but it's without the dick monsters, so I'm like totally into that.
totally
Dick monsters are terrible.
and it's just
You'll have to crank them.
this idea of like the loop and unlocking
That's
more
great.
stuff is so satisfying, and it's just a blast. Like it's
Just love
such a
clever
delight.
narrative stuff like that. That's really, really cool.
Nice.
I want to find out the because the name of the dev
Scream came from outside the ship.
We'll see that.
because I hadn't even heard of this. Because it was surprise announced and released today. So they just released it. So it's Inkle. They made Pendragon, Heaven's Vault, and 80 Days. And those are all fantastic games. So yeah, totally worth your time. And it seems like a real back pocket.
Arcade Blob is desperately trying to buy it. My Steam store won't load. It's not going. It's not going
Kept
anywhere.
saying like, I'm literally about to start playing it.
Putting you on the other side of the detective accusing
It's super
drawing
cool.
room
Yeah.
dynamic is great.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I
Cool
can't think
idea.
of other
Love it.
games that have done that. There's always been the go in there and then like tick off the ones that you sure haven't done it, and like you're always playing that role. So it's
Yeah.
great to be on the side that you're like, I did it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm terrible at this.
super cool.
Have a crank.
So that's what we've been playing this week. I'll tell you what, for what seemed like a slow week, lots to talk about.
totally.
And we got more show coming up as well for you after this short break.
Hello there, I'm Gus,
And I'm Steph.
and today we're playing a very special game from MaxJazzGames.
There's a sort of cat thing.
He's holding a donut, I think.
Do you know what it is?
That's right, it's Kung Pooby.
Do you play Kung Pooby?
Maybe you play Kung Pooby with your parents.
And if you do you sing the Kung Pooby song?
Would you like to sing the Kung Pooby song with us? Come on.
Kung Pooby.
Kung Pooby. Pooby here, Pooby there, Pooby everywhere.
Do you know who else plays Kung Pooby? That's right, it's Pockety. I wonder which window the Pockety is in today.
Let's have a look.
Is it in the round window?
Or the foot window?
Or is it in the Angus shitting himself window?
That's right, it's in the severed foot window.
We've had a lot of fun today, playing MaxJazzGames, haven't we, Gus?
We sure have, Steph. Well, it's time to go now.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Do you know what
Ready?
these boxes do?
No,
Yeah, I
that's
would
not.
also like to know.
We'll come back to that later. We've spoken about it
Yeah.
already.
It's so hard to just let me just ask a fucking question and get a fucking answer.
We literally just.
All I wanted to fucking ask.
Oh my god, Bishop.
Yeah, it took more time you guys fucking yelling at me than me to ask the fucking question.
I agree with
already
Bishop.
spoken about
I
it.
agree with Bishop. Now that we're through, can I
Thank
ask you a
you,
question? What do you think those
Reese.
boxes are for?
Oh my fucking
no
god.
fucking idea. Those
We
boxes look
literally-
weird.
Oh my god. Fucking 5
they
runs
wanted to show
ago,
us
I was
one,
like,
right?
man, I just found some weird Vex-looking boxes. I wonder what they're for.
Wait, wasn't that like similar
I
to the
didn't
stuff
hear
that
you
was
say
in the
that,
last
which is
section?
why I wanted to ask the fucking question, because that's how language works.
Oh, what the
Absolute
Bye,
dick
Liam.
bag.
It'd be great to ask it now, not when like.
So
That's how language works.
we went from the most wholesome ad to that. A big thank you to ItsJepp and APawnCalledBishop for the word from our sponsor sent in. And that was one of the new commercials that we shot last week for MaxJazzGames and their game Kung Pooby. And I think you guys nailed it.
Yeah.
We did, didn't we?
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Nicholas.
Right.
Thank you for
I
watching.
don't like it. I like sitting next to it.
Yeah, no, it's
It's like, could be like children's show, could be a terrifying murder cult.
If I had those other glasses on, it'd be like, oh.
I can't
yeah.
remember. Did you say this on stream or did you say this to us when we would talk? Because I was like, okay.
Because if I told just you, I don't want to tell it on stream.
No. Because I was like, we were talking about. I was like, so I've written the PlayStation thing, the Play School thing, and we were talking about like how to put it together and like the tone and everything. And you said like, yeah, because they've always got that really condescending tone, and it was like,
yeah.
no, it's not condescending to kids,
to literal
Gus.
children.
It's condescending to you because
I'm sitting there-
You know how to spell dog.
I think the
No, do you?
I think the issue too is that our budget, like children's set, looks like some kind of weird sex
Yeah,
dungeon.
yeah.
No, what did you call
Silks everywhere.
it? I said it was a snuff film.
Yeah, okay.
But it was like, Pete, Pete
That
very
was between us.
Pete very wonderful. Did you say that on the show, or was that just between us? Pete was like just getting things and putting them around, doing a wonderful job of just like dressing a corner to look like a kid's show. And it was like had this big silk, and he hung it over. I'm like, it's a bit.
I was like, we've got the sky and the grass. There's not a lot in this studio that is Play School.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Case in point.
Yeah, there's a sexy man over there.
Good. Okay. Well, very excited to see that. And that's not where the gifts to our community end.
I mean, the whole show itself is a gift, and
And also
Thankful
technically, the thing we're about to reveal is not a gift.
It's paid
It's a purchase.
for in full.
Yeah. But we wanted to reveal the next piece of merch that the Wear Back tier will be getting.
That is true. We're for those who are on the Wear Back patron tier, every 3 months we redesign a new piece of merch and we'll drop that for you guys. So the previous one, of course, was the t-shirt of the nose is the cock of the face, a sort of funky pub design that we did on white t-shirts, and the decision was to do a black hoodie for the next piece of merch. So we were going to do it on the stream, but then we kind of had an idea and we decided I was like, I'm just going to take this idea and run with it. So I did. I went away and I drew and... I ran quite far. And so we decided to come up with something that would pay homage to a segment that was on one of the previous episodes that got a great response from all of you. We had a lot of fun doing it. You guys had a lot of fun watching it. And so we took elements from that segment and turned it into a design and made that design look kind of retro and cool.
Yep.
We can show it. I know you guys are like...
I think you should you should explain what it is and then we show it.
Okay, that's what I was wondering because Pete's holding...
I'm poised.
So the design I thought of doing was the Pete's Party game, which was, what the fuck did you just say to me? Don't press it yet.
Multifish says he's selling a list.
Yeah, totally. It was the What the Fuck Did You Just Say to Me, which was the game we played with Raj when he was in here as a guest. We all wore headphones, noise-cancelling headphones, and we had to mouth the names of game titles and then try and work out what they were.
Yep.
Very humorous because we all ended up saying things that were not the right answer and making up new games in the process. So we all took turns wearing these big, obnoxious orange headphones. And then the one that I found the most endearing was Pete at the end crying out Pigawale, which the game was...
Balan
Wonder World, and he shouted that out. So using that as the title and then filling the artwork of the design with a lot of the sort of fake covers that Reese came up with as well, I designed
Nicotex.
And Nicotex.
Fourth Reaper.
And Fourth Reaper. And designed it and then put it under the stylings of like a retro video game box art that we've titled... Hit it, Pete. So what you're seeing here is the over-the-top painterly box art design in the same style of your like old movie posters or your early Nintendo Atari classics that were very over-designed in the sense that you like promised a lot more than the game could ever deliver.
Give us a close-up.
So let's have a look at the close-up of the design. Will, you can punch in and around it. So it's done in the sense of like I've adopted an old Nintendo NES cartridge, and then I've gone and hand-painted the characters in... that are both that are all of us in poses from the actual segment itself.
The mushroom shirt.
The mushroom shirt. I drew from
when
hand.
I pulled that face.
If we punch in that.
I wish I hadn't.
There's a famous artist who did heaps of the posters for like Star Wars and stuff, who I was trying to sort of pay homage to. But yeah, it's the box art with some throwbacks to some of the games or the mispronounced games. We've got Fuck Off, It's Kevin, which is of course Final Fantasy VII, who's standing below the News Corp building, which is on top of. So I think Reese did that one. And then there's Diablo up there, which was Tampon, which I didn't really know how to appropriate. I just used some of the Diablo artwork and redrew that.
It made you very uncomfortable.
It did. I think in the other corners, we've got things like Impala, which was Hitman. There's the Impala playing Hitman. There's Angels in the Outfield was Gears of War. So that's a character from Angels in the Outfield in the Marcus Phoenix armor. There's a barrel there. I Want a Burger Barrel, which was from Burnout.
I bought
a burger barrel. You got Little Will down there in the front too, just looking generally terrified of everything that was going on. Fair enough. And then a cheeky little Raj snuck down to the bottom corner as well and he's in front of a little bit of artwork from, of course, Eat Your Ass 3, or better known as Kingdom Hearts 3.
Better known as the closest we will ever come to a copyright infringement.
Probably. And then the rest of it's just done in the art style of the box art. So Pigawale, Pete's Party Classic, from Back Pocket Tonight, a Pocketeer special. And then we put the little back pocket seal of approval up the top as well, an old Nintendo.
We haven't checked the spelling on this yet.
It's taken from the actual artwork.
Okay, good.
So it's all good. So you're assured a quality product in that. So yeah, over-designed in terms of doing that versus the like more minimal, simplistic design of the previous one.
Yep.
But
I'm a huge fan. Yeah. I saw people in chat saying that my face looks creepy. It does. You should have seen the first version, which Steph and I there was a couple of days of fights with Gus.
So I looked creepy as well, and I was
yeah, you look the worst out of all of us. Pete looked good, and the rest of us
the
would.
worst. If you look at some of those old movie posters, they've really got the faces wrong. on a lot of them.
But you don't wear those
but I
movie
don't think
posters
that
to cafes.
I don't want to wear our faces.
I think
bad.
you guys don't want to wear your faces looking bad. I was more than happy to wear Wonky Gus.
But it's more like if it doesn't look like us is the thing.
But it did. It just looked like alter ego painted.
I guess I'm saying that this is the perfect version of
So
it.
the weird thing
I'm
was
really proud at what you did.
I really wanted to send you, when I take the actual photo I was referencing when I drew it next to it, that is what you look like in that screen grab. I might have caught you in a very scary, strange pose.
Yeah, no, the scariness is fine. There was something that was happening with eyes and
eyes are very. Anyone
eyes
who
are
knows
creepy.
who's done like
And you photoshopped this onto Nick and Steph
Yes,
wearing black
so
hoodies.
these are Photoshop versions. It's not
the
printed
actual
on, which
hoodies.
is why they look a little bit wonky, but it was just to get like a sense of the size and what it'll look like on the
I
hoodie.
think we pushed the design to the max printing size on the black hoodies, which are part of it, and so that should look. I think the hoodies have like the what do you call the where you can put your hand warmers in the bottom.
Pockets. They're called pockets.
Yeah, but
they're called the name of your show.
It's a front
A front pocket.
A front pocket. So the design's
called a
little
fucket.
higher.
or vagine.
There we go. So yeah, the design fits that in a way that hopefully looks big enough and comes out well enough in the print. I have confidence that this will pop on a black hoodie and look nice. And it was heaps of fun to do, and yeah, a good excuse to do some art.
Yeah, I love it. And so there is still time if you want this hoodie.
It's a
you
pouch.
can.
Pouch.
It's pouch.
Pouch is a better way to put it.
If you want a hoodie,
Because if it was a pouch, it would have the hole at the top. It's
Like a vagina.
it's true. Yep. So if you want this hoodie, you can still get on this tier. If you're not on the wearback tier, you can join up to it now. And this is the last month that you'll be eligible for. If you join up now, you'll get this hoodie in 3 months' time. And when the new piece of merch is applied to that tier, you'll also be eligible for that as well. So you can still upgrade to get this if you haven't got it.
Has the first short shirt been? Is that gone?
Yeah, everyone's
Shirts,
got it.
yeah,
Everyone's got it.
no one can get the shirt now.
Someone said they're wearing it right now. I can't-
Everyone's got it.
Why
And
don't we get one?
We did.
We got
did.
one.
What are you talking about?
one in
You
your
wore
house.
it on the show.
Did I?
Yes.
We all did.
I don't remember.
My God. And then three very lucky people have this hoodie coming to them now.
You're joking.
Very early because they are in
some weird quirk in the system.
Yeah, they were in the unique
yeah.
position of having signed up to that tier after we added this, and we added this a little bit earlier to be safe. And 3 people, so Tom, Pedro, and Jeresh, your hoodie is winging its way to you now. And it was very important, and I kept emphasizing to Gus, this artwork has to be in the system by the end of the month, or these 3 people are going to be getting a
black
picture of
hoodie.
my desktop. That's the holding image, a screenshot of my computer desktop. That's the
Right.
holding image on the hoodie.
Yeah.
So-
They get an extra hoodie.
No. They just get it a month earlier than everybody.
Oh, right. They're not getting the holding image.
No, because we got the artwork in time.
The way we're
Got it,
juggling
yeah.
it, and we've talked about this at length in the past, but the way we're juggling it is not a way that Patreon kind of like is set up to do it.
Patreon suck at this system.
I feel like at some point in the future, because it is part of the lore of this show, the merch item should be your desktop.
It really should be.
Yeah, yeah.
It should be. If we
Or
could
like-
do a cool, we could do a cool artwork of my computer desktop.
We could.
That would be a cool. That would
I
be a
actually
very good
came up
in-joke.
with- I really simply traced my face shitting myself for the window, and when I finished, I was like, "This is a cool design."
No shit.
I've been fucking saying that for 6 goddamn fucking months.
But I never
But
got to a
people
way.
want-
I never got to a
Give the-
version of it that I liked, and just a simple trace. I was like,
Yeah,
this
I
looks
want it
cool.
so bad.
Give the
Can
people
you
what
do
they
it for
want.
me, please?
We'll see.
Please.
Be nice.
Let me buy that shirt. I'll buy that shirt using my own money from my own show.
People
Pull the face right now.
There it is.
Oh, good. Your eyes went somewhere there.
People also really want just like a Pete's party time, like the
We
party,
tried
the
Pete's party pants.
Yeah,
But there's no good
but
pants.
then just stick it on a t-shirt and put it on the
But
Red
Pete's
Bubble
party
store.
pants is funny.
Put it on a t-shirt. Everything on a t-shirt. T-shirts and mugs. The only 2 things we ever need to sell.
Totally.
Yeah, yeah.
Hella Lost's husband came up with a great idea for a mug, and it was a pockety tea bag. It's in the shape of a tea bag, and it's dipping, and there's a string coming from the top, so it looks like it's dipping into the mug, and it's a pocket tea. It's a great mug.
Oh no.
Hella Lost's husband was very proud of that pun, and I'm proud of Hella Lost's husband. Okay. Should we move on?
Yeah.
Party
Pete's
That was
party
great.
ins.
Pete's party blundies.
Let's move on now to more alliteration because it's time for a new segment we're calling Pocket Pet Peeves.
was a Tamagotchi.
Now put it in jail.
Now put that Tamagotchi in jail. Pocket Pet Peeves brought to you by Nicotex, aka Nick Belling. Every time Nicotex sponsors a segment, we read out a tweet from Nicotex, aka Nick Belling, on Twitter.
Read that
June
tweet.
1st, Nick Belling wrote, I'll have you know I go to the gym in my building at least 2 or 3 times a week because there's a vending machine in there that sells chocolate milk.
Good tweet.
Good.
Bravo.
Also like the nondescript brand of chocolate milk.
Yeah.
Like, I get a Big M. I get a Dare.
Why are you British?
No.
I get a Dare.
What am I going to get?
I get a chocolate hob.
I go down
Chocolate
there.
milk is cuter.
Straight from the adder.
Chocolate milk is like he drinks it with 2 hands.
Yeah.
with a straw, like,
Yeah.
And it's cardboard. It's not a plastic Dare bottle.
Yeah.
It's like
No,
it's an oak.
No.
No, it's not an oak. It's chocolate milk.
It's a cute little
Yeah,
chocolate
but
milk.
oak is the one in the cardboard box.
Yeah.
No, but he's got.
It kills hungry, thirsty, dead.
He's just got a little white one with blue stripes on it,
point
and
is
like
we're not
people
name
come
checking
past.
the
him.
But that would be plain milk.
Pocket Pet Peeves is a segment where each of us come up with 2 gaming pet
hung up on
peeves
food.
that we want to put in game design prison. Each peeve is brought up, discussed where it is most egregious, and then okay, I've now transitioned from reading the blurb that I should have written for this, and instead of read the
PlayStation
blurb, no, the blurb that I used to describe what this segment would be to you guys in our
Yes,
Slack
yeah,
channel.
yeah.
And then a sound effect, cell door slamming shut or something is played, an image of that peeve comes up, GFX bars come down over the screen or whatever, and I don't know, we'll lock it away in game design prison forever or something. We could come back with more peeves over the year, and also, if we feel like it, the viewers can submit their own ones as well. We'll see how this works.
Every new segment
I'm into
you
it.
finish with, we'll see how this works.
Well, I'm sold.
So there you go. Now you know what the segment is. Let's kick it off. Peter Burns, with your first
why me?
game. Oh, do you want to kick it off with
I just can't remember.
Angus Ronald?
Sure, but you're.
No,
Oh,
They're
that still
in
wasn't here.
order. You
Okay,
have to
do you want me to give you? Do you want me to give you a hint
hint.
about your own peeve?
Remind me.
Okay, so the first thing that you want to put in
Unskippable cutscenes.
Game
Fuck 'em.
design prison.
Fuck them. Fuck them. Fuck them. Unskippable cutscenes. Let me skip the cutscenes. I will watch a cutscene, but I would prefer to watch a loading bar than watch a cutscene that I don't want to watch. Like, I get that sometimes there's a cutscene there. It's a video that's hiding loading in the background.
Yep.
Sure. Show me the loading bar, because I want to see when the loading's done, and I don't want to watch the cutscene.
Do you think that loading bar's hiding? Because I was going to discuss the fact that we're now getting that thing where they like break up some cutscenes that can be skipped with the ones at the top and the tail, or the top that can't. So you're like, no, can't now, can't now, can't now.
And then you can.
Oh, and now I can.
Yeah.
Now, that's probably hiding loading? Maybe?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
But it's frustrating for me that I don't know that there's loading underneath it. So I'm like, why can't I skip this one? And it's when the camera changes.
I agree that there should be an option to skip, but I would say this is probably the least peeviest of peeves for me.
Let
Because
it
I
be
like
this.
I like
Really?
story and I like watching the thing, but also if I don't, then it's usually an opportunity for me to like, you know, go grab a chocolate milk or like anything. It's just like
Head to the gym.
yeah, it's not like that big of an issue.
I feel like we should set up that this isn't, or this shouldn't be as much of a debate.
No, of course it is.
It can
It's
be.
absolute. No. I've seen your list. They're terrible. Good. Put it in prison. Unlockable cutscenes.
Fuck off.
Your list is great, by the way.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Disappears on
I realized Will.
Yeah,
Next time we do this, and do you want me to put this in the intro next time as well?
please.
I would like to dress up like a jailer.
Do it now.
Good.
Give me a pose.
Get the mic out of the way.
Yeah. We get my color. Yeah, good. There it is.
You meant as a graphic. I meant I want a costume. So I'll buy a sexy. Buy a sexy
Yeah, nice.
prison ward outfit.
Are we all going to be in
Yeah.
orange jumpsuits?
Oh, yeah, sexy prison.
Yeah, when I think prison ward, I'm like, oh, that's so
I
fucking.
feel
Yeah,
like, I
so
feel
hot.
like Kit Carnage will find you one and send you.
Yeah, totally. I feel like that's 100% true.
It's basically just like it's an orange pants and those
tassels.
Nipples.
Yeah.
Totally.
All right, Stephanie, your first peeve.
My first
know what
pet
orange
peeve, I have chosen like story-based peeves because I care about the story so much in a game. So when
That you won't even skip a cutscene.
It's a cutscene.
that I
Won't even do it.
Skip a cutscene. But I feel like a trope that I really, really hate that I can't believe I still see in games today is the idea of this like either a dead wife or a dead girlfriend, and then like a really kind of angsty emo dude on a-
John can't live without his wife.
Yeah, and it's like looking at a sad photo, and then we have to sort of, you know, watch him go on some revenge mission where he just like stops and complains about the fact that his wife is dead, but it's like we never really knew anything about her, so who cares?
The fridged wife.
The fridged wife.
Yeah.
It's like women as devices to like spur on the male hero. Is
This
just
is
like,
a term? Fridging someone?
Yeah.
What's based on what?
Put them on ice. Put them in the. Yep. They're not useful in the story.
Yep.
my favorite example.
That is it? Because I don't
it's
trust
literally
Pete.
fridging.
It will say something literally.
No,
Like,
yeah,
it's
it's
from
an
the
expression.
famous story where she was
No.
gaslit and then put in a fridge.
There's so many examples of this, of like dude bro shooters and stuff like that, where they have like a photo of their like poor
Totally.
tortured
We
wife.
joked about like doing a montage back in the good
Yeah,
days.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
it's big-
There's an excellent one. I think it's Gears of War 2, and Dom's wife gets
Yeah.
put in the thing. I think her name is Maria.
Yeah.
Maria! Maria!
My favorite example is was Dante's Inferno, which I think I've spoken about on this show before. And like Dante's Inferno, like his wife gets murdered and he goes through the 7 layers of hell or whatever. Like,
Oh, I was thinking the volcano movie.
Yeah.
If you go back and watch
Dante's
that
Peak.
moment, I am well and truly dissecting Dante's Peak, going
amazing.
like, when the fuck did that happen in the movie?
Remember when
So-
Pierce Brosnan went to hell?
so Dante's wife is like hanging out in her house, and like the bad guys come and they're like, I forget what their beef is with Dante, but they decide to murder the wife as like a fuck you to him or whatever.
Sure.
And she kind of tweaks the fact that she's about to get murdered, so she runs slow motion out of the house. And one of the bad guys throws a sword at her from behind. The sword pierces her through the torso, and then her shirt bursts open as her boobs swing free as she falls to the ground, impaled with a sword. It's like, come on.
Could this be any harder?
I mean, if it was a front attached bra and it went through the buckle at the front.
Yeah, it all makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
it's in law.
There's a lot of weird boob stuff in that game, actually.
There's a lot of weird boob
There was
stuff in
one
most
boss
games.
fight with like one of the gods where she was like a big boob monster, and then like tiny babies crawled out of her nipples and they had knives for hands.
At least,
I need to play this game again. It's really stuck in my memory.
at least that's interesting.
Yeah.
Like that's not just like
That's a
normal
design idea.
boring boob stuff. That's like fun
was a
knife
creative
boob
choice.
stuff. Yeah, exactly.
But it's also like, it's not
made a
gratuitous
call
in
there.
the sense that it's character design. That's just like pervertedly, like, how can we just get a bit of tea or just the tea in here?
There you go.
Yeah.
No way.
yeah.
So fridging women.
Well, yeah, and just like terrible plot devices in video games, I guess, to sum it up.
Pete, put them in prison. Wow, that's broad.
See ya, bad narrative device.
That's really broad.
Well, to be fair, Steph wrote like a paragraph
That is true.
that Will
That is
needed
true.
to distill into 3 words
Yeah.
that could fit on the thing.
Yeah.
So he's like,
Write a paragraph.
Angus.
Not enough boobs in stabbing scenes. No, not at all. I agree with you entirely. My pet peeve, my first one, is tailing missions in any form of game. Any game that makes me want to
Yes.
tail a character, shadow them, creep behind them, stay within a certain distance.
Oh, that's the worst one.
Can't stand it.
yeah, stay within a certain distance. What?
Yeah, it's because
So annoying.
it never works in the sense that you can feel that proximity circle around them. And older games were terrible because you would just step over that line.
I always think of Spider-Man 2 when I think of this, of like swinging through the city and like someone's driving
yeah.
away, and it's like you just got to keep up and like you try to cut through a
not too
building and
far.
not just
I think
You get stuck swinging the wrong way because you're like, I'm too close, and you turn around.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
so
ridiculous.
sticky and
I don't mind
gamey.
it in Assassin's Creed because I think you have the verticality that makes it kind of fun when you're like trying to pick the right rooftop route to take. But I remember doing, I think it was LA Noire, and I was doing like one of the tail missions where you had to be like in a car and following behind, but I kept hitting the car hole.
and punching them. Oh god, I'm so
So I
sorry.
kept failing the mission over and over, and then I got that message being like, "Do you want to skip this?"
That's
And I was
amazing.
like,
That's amazing.
yes,
I think
please.
I think in Assassin's Creed by like 3 or maybe 4, if you failed the eavesdropping missions or whatever, you could just run up and stab him or something.
Yeah,
Like I think it was just like no one likes
I
doing
still
this.
don't think they should be there from the start. The other issues I always have is that there used to be a lot of the ones where the character you're tailing would stop and then like take a cigarette break and look around. And the idea isn't meant to catch
and like
you
on
out
a
because you
fucking
go, oh, I'm-
on a timer routine they do it
yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
And it does that so the game design is there so you accidentally I
That's
was
going
just
in the intro next week.
there you go, Will. So you just charge up ahead and you fail it, and there is probably no mission type that's more unsatisfying to fail and replay. Than
Yeah, totally.
Because
yeah.
then you are quite
God,
literally
yes.
just rote learning like how they walk and what they do and what they say the same phrase.
And also, it's one of those things where you go, follow, 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 because that's my most hated one where they stop and turn.
Yeah.
Follow, 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 and then it's like, hide behind this thing. And then all you're doing is just like, just stand here.
Yeah,
like, I'm
yeah,
just I'm standing here and I've swung the
playing it.
camera around to look around the side. And I'm just waiting for you to turn around. It's like, so your game mechanic is I do literally nothing.
And because there are the ones that that are putting stops in there just to slow down the process.
Yeah.
But there are the ones that when you make a noise or step too far forward, the character goes, "What was that?" and stops, and then they have to realistically go, I guess it was just another alley cat, and walk up. And so then it just keeps getting... Splinter Cell, that was a classic. But the idea of failing it makes them stop and not do anything, so you have to wait it out so it feels like a realistic time. Tailing in cars also really bad as well.
Also terrible. Yep.
Yeah, GTA.
Yeah,
and it goes in hand with those missions that are, you're not tailing someone, but you've got a truck full of explosive... bullshit. Don't drive too fast. It's like, or your alcohol will blow up.
Hang on. You're bringing in something else that we could be using that in the next time if this segment works. We use that in the next time we put it in the different thing.
Pretend I didn't say
for now,
what was yours? Tailing missions?
Tailing missions.
Lock them up, boys. Tailing missions, you're never going to hurt anyone again.
Tailing missions are out for parole.
I know Nick's fucking love.
I am.
The power.
Lock 'em up, boys.
Will, I changed my mind. I don't want to be a warden. I want to be a judge.
They're in for 6 years, but they'll be out for 2 with good behavior.
Oh yeah, do the gavel thing.
Gavel. Give me a gavel. Yeah. Will, find me a gavel now. Just now. Go run.
There's a hammer in the top drawer.
Will, give me a hammer.
Top left drawer.
And it's something a hammer.
Yeah, give him a glass.
I need a hammer
or a plate.
Well, there's a lot of pleases on the end of these that aren't happening. So I just want to say please and thank yous.
Yeah. All right. And also, because from Gus, also a shh.
I make up for it with my please and thank you.
Yeah, that's right.
This will do it for now.
What about on the table?
Oh, the table's good. Wait, Steph's microphone's on.
Yeah, it's
Pete'll
gonna be
kill me.
bad.
Okay.
You want to be bad too.
My first one.
He hates that.
The most recent time I can think of this was, let me think, every single video game I've ever played. It's Resident Evil Village. It Takes Two. All the Game Club hits. Mine is when a video game blocks your progress by either showing you something and then taking it away from you and going, you need to go find this thing now, or splitting something up artificially. So in It Takes Two, there was that letter.
Yeah.
That entire game had this beautiful flow of just I'm flowing through this game. The narrative is really organically drawing me through. And then I hit this part where that book's rip. All right. Spend the next 4 hours finding these.
I see what you mean.
And it is so frustrating to me because it is one of those scenarios where if I'm immersed in a game, I'm instantly going, oh, you're just...
You have a list of things you're just checking off.
Yeah, and I'm checking these things off. I know that anytime, Persona does it all the time, just puts things in pieces and puts them around the place. It's make me go through that place.
It is more about the segmenting of it, I think, than the taking it away, because that's another, almost another pet peeve in that it was almost in your grasp and it got taken further away. That's frustrating, but I'm almost it happens in a scene where you don't have control. The segmenting is so annoying. And it does, the camera goes, it's going to be over there, and the other one went over there, and this one went over there, and you're like, when I
initially read this, I thought you meant it was the idea of being a powerful character that is then stripped of their powers and then has to kind of slow.
That's a different one. We talk about that one the next time. That's a shit one too. I hate that too.
I feel my thing is, and you're probably right, but
remember who has a hammer.
I'm remembering who has a hammer. I think it's even in the not quite. Lean forward a little bit so you can threaten me with it. Push it forward. Yeah. Okay. Just my...
It's popping it from all sides this stream.
My beer.
MacGuffins like that are so common in storytelling.
Yep.
I never look at it as a video game problem. It's a storytelling problem, but it is very prevalent in video games because it's a nice way to break up a video game. But it's it's the same as Harry Potter going to find all the Horcrux bullshit.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's he put his soul in a stick over there.
Yeah, it totally is.
It's a common fantasy trope.
But I think it's the fact that...
Which is why I think
as a player, you have to go do it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing of I have to trudge over here and get this thing and then come back here and then go... Yeah, anyway.
Do you think there's an element of gamer satisfactions?
Nope.
In being able to finally assemble... Okay.
Nope.
Well, I was going to say, do you think if they took away the segmenting, you would have enjoyed
He's got a hammer
that section of...
Totally. If it was just there's a letter at the end of this thing, go get it, and then we've come up with something else for the other place, go get that.
I mean, don't tell
totally
you about
fine.
it till you get to the end
Not
of
this
that.
thing of here it is, and now I'm just fucking wasting your time. Go fuck yourself, book.
If it were three separate letters that were always a...
Don't give a shit.
But hang on, here's the thing. No, if you didn't know what they were until you
get there organically.
They could be the same 3 parts of a letter, but they could get to the end of that level and go, I found a bit of paper. And then she goes, we're going to go on another adventure. And at the end of that, she goes, what have you found here? Another, it's...
We're onto something.
Yeah, that was
Pete, whoever hits the button.
Yeah.
Blocking progress. A million years hard time. Go fuck yourself.
This is the Sean McAuliffe into the bin, isn't it?
It is. I love that. Pete.
Remind me. I remember. It was. It is. Save states suck. Save states suck.
You're right.
They're
We should never be allowed to save in a video game.
No.
Every game should be like
be able
Returnal.
to save in the exact frame that we're in on any game.
Oh, I see. So you
like coming from like emulation save states being like, here is like a direct moment that you can just save and you can walk away and you can come back. I don't want the Resident Evil bullshit. I have to find some arbitrary thing like a typewriter in a room somewhere to save. It's like, just let me save. I just want to close the fucking game. I just want to leave.
What about the old save just before you died? So then you keep loading it back and you're like, and you just keep going. It happens in older games.
I totally agree with that.
Just let us save
I hate
anyway.
replaying stuff that I've done. So if there's like not good save points or checkpoints or whatever in there, I really
Totally.
resent for that.
Yeah, and we're not in the era anymore of arcadey stuff being difficult because you have to go and replay everything. Like a Donkey Kong Country, you have a certain amount of lives, and if you lose all your lives, you start from the start of the game. As opposed to like if you play that on an emulator, you just put it down where you were, and you have a save state in the middle of a mission somewhere.
And if like a game like Returnal, where their argument was that the they don't want to add these save points because they don't want people like. If you die, you're supposed to go back to the beginning. Like, they don't want people abusing, like, oh, you just keep reloading that save. Do the thing of, like you said, like that flash save of go, like, as soon as the save loads, it deletes itself. Yeah. Like, be that thing where, like, you can save at any point, but you can never really load that save unless you're, like, going to load that save, and then that save disappears. Like, yeah, I totally agree. Save states?
I liked the typewriters.
Save states? Nothing can save you now. I really hope this chair is up.
Save mechanics is how that read to me. Those poor save mechanics.
Poor save mechanics.
What did someone think of
Stephanie?
The save mechanics?
Steph.
I have another story one, and it's because I just think that it's the most exciting part of video games is like, you know, evolving narrative. And so when you have a big branching storytelling game and they're giving you all these different choices, and I understand that it is not feasible to create 20 different game endings or whatever for every story game that you create. But when you give someone an option to make a choice and you make a choice and then they funnel you back towards the other choice anyway, then I feel really like dumb. Because I'm like, don't present me with a choice if I don't actually have a choice.
Totally.
Do you know what I mean? And I think the best example of this was Beyond Two Souls. And it's like there was a moment.
Most of David Cage's stuff.
Cage.
Yeah.
Relentlessly.
And sometimes, like, look, games can kind of hide it well and make you feel like you've made a choice or whatever. But like, there's a scene in that when Ellen Page is like Elliot Page is a teenager and the character's like playing pool in a bar or something. The character's like snuck out and these like seedy dudes come up to her and they're like, have you, or do you want to like play a game of pool or something like that? And I was like, these guys look seedy. So I was like, no. And the character's like, no, thank you. And then she like kind of goes back and they're like, oh, come on, play a game of pool with us or whatever. Like, you know, you seem like a nice girl. And then I gave her the option again. It's like, do you want to play a game of pool with them? And I was like, no. And so she goes about it and they're like, come on, give us a break or whatever. And she's like,
developers worked really hard to make a pool game.
yeah. And she's just like, oh, fine. And I was like, I said no twice.
Yeah, totally.
Why?
Too much.
Why you forced me into this like shitty situation where they're obviously going to like do something shitty to her or whatever? And I don't.
What about the? There's a heap of them, but obviously the Telltale Walking Dead games. All the decisions a little different, but all the decisions.
Next will remember that, but it doesn't make
more
much
so
impact.
that you would make a call to do something like I want to save that person, and then it would play something out in front of you that would most of the time go the other direction. So I ended up playing those games entirely by doing don't do what Donnie didn't.
Yeah.
Very confusing. And I was like,
they present you with like you're trying to choose the lesser of two horrible choices, and it always ends up throwing you into a situation where you're like the opposite thing happens.
Yeah,
like a Sophie's Choice or something. Where
totally.
Like, the one you picked is actually gonna die now.
So I started to resent the game for just like the choices it was trying to offer me were never the ones I wanted. So,
Totally.
Yeah.
Shoehorning a story into your video game. I'm gonna shoehorn you into a jail cell. Okay, false choice. That works as well. You haven't been falsely accused of this. You're guilty.
I love that you spent the time thinking it up perfectly, and then got it, and then saw the words. Like, I should have really worked that with the words.
Totally. Yeah.
Can I do the next one? I've got a wooden handle.
This is a very expensive thing.
Was
This
it?
is a shitty, fantastic
Stop
furniture
questioning.
chair. Yeah.
That would put dents.
Yeah.
And we want to sell this when we
No Hammergas. You get
I was
whistle.
about to say, it's weird that you're defending this couch, but now I see why.
Yeah.
It is.
Angus, what has pissed
I
you
hate this
off in
couch.
video games that you think deserves to serve hard time?
Let's steer away from story, from narrative, from plot structure, and let's get technical.
Oh,
I want to get
let's.
technical on your asses. Because I have a pet peeve, and that is when the graphic settings, and this is mainly, I'd say almost entirely for PCs, can only be changed from the main menu and not from the in-game menu. This is obviously an issue that I have when you want to work out how well the game runs, and you want to play around with these settings and quickly do it within the game to see what are those actual changes without loading to the main menu, without having to then skip the cutscenes, without having to choose the save state that you couldn't do that was only from a few minutes back, and all of those problems to go like, wait, what did I change? Anti-aliasing? No. Light rays. Fuck. I don't know what it is. Back to the main menu.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare. I realize it's a technical thing. I'm sure some games are built in a way that they can't do it, but that doesn't get them off the hook.
No.
Because
No,
I
this is a
think
pet peeve. You're allowed to be
it's a pet
peeved
peeve.
by
I
that.
can be
Yeah.
I can
Doesn't
be
matter
petty.
why it exists.
I can be petty about my pet peeve.
And I insist that you are.
Damn right. So yeah, I want menus, pause menus that I can then go in there. I can tinker with the settings. None of this. The game needs to restart to check your settings.
You know what would help?
What?
A fucking on-the-moment save state.
There you go.
You can change to whatever the fuck you want, and it instantly boots back your
Reese
save
has
state.
set all to low, all the frames. He does
Yeah,
that
I
thing
know.
where he like sets it to low so that he can see people hiding behind bushes because the
like
bushes
there's no
like
fault.
Yeah, no, that's a terrible life. No way to live.
It's another peeve, but
Stop
yeah,
watching it.
bad PC settings or bad graphic settings.
Yep. That's a bad time. There's no setting. The only setting in prison
Get there.
It's gonna be
can do it.
really difficult for you to surf, but hopefully you'll come out a better person. Good. Okay, and then
menus in general.
Lines.
Yeah.
Two lines.
Yeah, you did a great job, Will. You did a great job, Will.
Good job, William.
all right. The final pet peeve of the night. The final pet peeve.
of the night.
Gaming pet peeve. Final gaming pet peeve from Nick Boy is dialogue trees. Let's bring it back to story. Dialogue trees that indicate what you're going to say, and then when you click on it, it actually just like diverts the tone entirely and says something else.
Yeah.
So,
Talking LA Noire.
That's fucked.
we're talking LA Noire.
Oh,
We're
LA
talking
Noire
Mass
was the
Effect 1.
Mass Effect.
So I loved what Mass Effect I feel like Mass Effect is almost the game that brought this in the dialogue wheel. I know it brought it in the dialogue wheel, but the idea of like, we're not going to write out what you say. We're going to write out
Paraphrase.
the tone behind it, and
Which
get
makes
it.
sense.
Which is fantastic,
It's
and
so
I
good.
love it so
So
much
good.
because it's not boring.
Yeah.
What sucks about it is when your character is like, it goes like, no, I don't think that's a good idea, and then your character goes, "Get out of here! I'll kill your mother if you do that." You're like, whoa. That's not
It's red.
at all what I meant. And you know what really would have helped that? Save states. 5 years for what you've done, fucking bad dialogue trees. There you go.
I feel like because of like.
Please
this-
do it.
I know because it's in things.
5 years for what you did.
We really should have
Do not
5
forget
years
what
yell at every
you
time the
did.
jail cell
Yeah.
slams. We're going to add that.
No.
And then in 5 years' time, when we're still making this show, we'll revisit it and go, did that deserve 5 years?
Yeah.
Maybe they can go on parole after 2
Yeah.
for good behavior.
Yeah, but what was the segment called?
The segment was called, well, I don't remember.
Oh yeah, it was called Pug Pet Peeves.
So,
accident.
Avexia, a Tamagotchi is a small electronic device that existed in the 90s, and you could have a little digital pet on it, and it was really fun.
It was really fun in the 90s. It did some bad things and got cancelled today, which is why it's now in jail.
Chat, did you like that segment? Because if you did, next time I'm dressing up like a judge. A sexy judge. All right, well, you decide whether or not you like that segment. We're going to go to a very short ad break, and when we come back, we're going to give away a couple of copies of a game with the title so long that it needs its own segment.
Oh, we're back. What was the lesson we learnt? Oh, yes. Turn left. And there's the exit. Huh. That's a bit anticlimactic. There's no smoke monster, no four-toed statue, no existential dread about the meaning of life. Huh. It's almost like the ending is the most difficult part of a long-form narrative.
like the guys I was getting matched with on most dating apps were just not right. Like, these were bad men. So now, after every awful date I have, I just tell them to join AllWood.
From parent IT company Isaac, AllWood is the dating app for the modern woman who's sick of being matched with assholes. Here's how it works. Men join thinking it will be an easy way to hook up, but what they don't realise is there are no women here. AllWood is just dicks. Now these guys will only get matched with people who share their interests. Interests like lying in their profile bios, not calling you back after the first date, and actually being married with kids. Let's hear from some of our unsatisfied customers. Don Juan DeFucco asks, where do ladies at? Biker Balls wants to know, why do I keep getting matched with jacked dudes who send me pictures of their dicks? And Sisyphean Penis has the self-awareness to ask, is this some sort of ironic Grecian myth punishment? AllWood. There are no women for you to harass here. It's just all wood.
When you know it's time to mix business with bizness. Ponk. When you play 7 instruments, each one like the love child of Yo-Yo Ma and Santana. Ponk. When you're 1K from having a really problematic logo. Ponk. A fragrance for men. Because you deserve to smell like a tin whistle.
You did. Do not forget what you did.
Yes.
Betrayal, 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 betrayal. No.
Oh boy.
So funny.
Amazing. Thank you very much, SamFunk, BMAC, and SlowPonk.
AllWood?
Yeah,
and AllWood. Oh yeah, there were 2
So
commercials
much.
in there.
There were.
How exciting. For your wonderful support of our wonderful show.
SamFunk choosing to go with the original mix, that's fine.
That's fine.
It's a good mix.
The
It's a good
original
mix.
good.
The rap is fine too.
I know how you feel about the rap, Peter.
I love the rap. More rap, please. All right, we're going to round out our evening with a little giveaway. So, the very fine folk.
I fucking forgot
what we were doing.
This stupid fucking segment.
Yeah, no, you thought the last segment got weird. The very fine folk at CI Games and 5-Star Games have given us 3 copies of Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2 to give away. We've got one on Xbox, one on PlayStation, so Xbox One, one on PlayStation 4, and one on PC. We're going to give these away in a segment we're calling Spiner or Sniper.
Oh, that's right.
Spiner or Sniper is a game where we will show you a blurred out picture and you need to tell us, is it a picture of character actor Brett Spiner or is it a picture of Mark Wahlberg in the film Shooter that Pete thought was called Sniper?
We built the whole segment around that title because Pete was like, it's Sniper. And then we looked up the movie poster and we're like,
Shooter.
It's called Shooter.
But he is a sniper.
There is a
He's a
movie
sniper in the movie Shooter.
There was a movie called American Sniper, and that had Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, Bradley Cooper sucks. Mark Wahlberg is heaps cool.
And there is a movie called Sniper, the 1993 classic starring Tom Berenger and Billy Zane.
Well, I said we should put Tom Berenger in there, and everyone was like, nah.
That's true. That's true. But I like the narrative behind this makes this
very good,
very perfect. So we're going to show a blurred out picture. You need to tell us: is it Brent Spiner or is it Mark Wahlberg in the film Shooter?
Sniper in the film Shooter.
Is it the sniper? The character in the film Sniper in the film Shooter who is called Sniper? Is that his?
No, he's not called Sniper. He just is a sniper.
He just is a sniper.
That is profession.
The film was called Shooter.
Right.
What was his character's
Mark
name?
Wahlberg.
I don't know.
He plays John Sniper.
And are we seeing Brent Spiner as Data or just Brent Spiner?
Well,
You're just going to see him.
Or we're going to
You're
see
not
Mark
gonna see him at all.
Wahlberg.
You're just going to see him.
As John Sniper or whatever his name is.
So I again, just a little background, because obviously we work a lot using Slack. So the thing of where I wrote the play school thing before and told you things, I wrote the things in the script that I read out, and these are the way that I describe segments to you. In the Slack, I said, look, we've got these copies of the game. We got to think of a mechanic to do this. And Pete said, like, you wrote back to me in
Instantly.
2 minutes and said, we play a game called Spiner or Sniper where we show a blurred mosaic image, blah, 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 blah. And then you said, correct answers get a code. And I said, you're insane. Let's do it. And then that's how the show
You're
is.
insane. Let's see if it works.
Let's see if it works.
And then it was. At what point did you discover that the film was not
After Will had made the graphic, so we had to just go.
100%. So the way this is going to work, we're going to show a picture. The chat is in emote-only mode, and you can use...
Which code are we doing first, though? Which platform?
So we'll do the PlayStation 4 code first.
Yep.
So in chat, I want you to write, if you think it is a picture of Mark Wahlberg in the film Shooter where he plays a sniper.
The character name, sorry, just before you go on, is Bobby Lee Swagger.
Okay,
His surname is Swagger?
No.
So for the PS4 copy of this game, if you think that it is a picture of Mark Wahlberg playing Swagger is in the film Shooter as a sniper, then I want you to type !guess sniper. If you think...
Is there a space there?
Yes, there is a space.
Yep.
If you think it is a picture of Brent Spiner, then I want you to write !guess space Spiner. S-P-I-N-E-R.
Two quick things.
Yep.
For people who didn't know who Brent Spiner is, as we've kind of semi-explained, because I totally didn't know.
I knew.
He plays Data
in Star Trek.
which is like the robot character in like
Star Trek.
Deep Space Nine or something.
I remember because he had a specific fan club called Spiner Femmes.
There you go. That's good.
The second point is just super quickly. Is
Twitch
like,
chat is in emote only,
Yeah.
otherwise they'd be fucking giving
That's
you
true.
grief.
Please, only if you have a PlayStation 4 or want to win the PS4 copy. Please don't just weigh in because you want to be in the contest.
Totally.
Yep. We
Totally.
do, like there will be an Xbox One next and then the PC. Let's play fair for the people who genuinely want to play it on this and not just you want to win.
Let's fucking do it.
Let's play Spider or Sniper!
Is
that a picture of Brent Spiner or a character actor, or is it Swagger, Sniper, and Shooter?
Type your answers.
Spider or Shooter. Type
right,
your answers
let's
in,
get
please. Chat, go.
All right,
Guessing has been enabled.
Gat is on the way.
Sniper, guess Spiner.
There's some spiners, there's some snipers.
Have you altered their clothing?
There's
in
some
any way?
spiners, there's some snipers.
Music? This is where it needs to spin up.
I can't, we can't hear it, but I'm sure it's there.
Now we're doing 2 rounds.
Well, if it's too loud, let me know.
All right, I'm calling it. Voting's closed.
All right, hang on. Let me turn that music off.
Peter Burns.
Get back to that. Yep. So, was this
Deep Space Nine? Gus, are you serious?
Spiner or was this Sniper? Have we turned the guesses off? Guesses
we have.
been disabled. It was.
Mark Wahlberg!
Look
Mark
at that
Wahlberg as Swagger Sniper cosplaying as Data.
There's going to be a lot of angry people in the chat right now.
Interesting.
Okay, good.
So, the people that answered correctly are in the running, and the wonderful bot that Gat has made is definitely going to work, and will spit out a winner.
It will spit out a winner, and I
very
never
soon.
actually asked Gat how we would get the name of the winner.
It'll appear in the chat
appear.
very
now watching
soon.
intently.
Is this where I announce the winner? Says
Just
Gat?
go for
Yes,
it.
it is. Yes, it is.
Just go for it.
100% going
100%
to
gonna
work.
work.
You're ready?
Ready?
Yes, we are.
Let's do it,
Announce
baby.
winner.
Go
Hey! You've won yourself a copy of Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2 on PlayStation 4. Congratulations. So, number 2.
Yep, straight into it.
So,
For
Girl Poke,
Xbox.
just send me a message on Discord, okay? Shoot me a message on Discord and I'll get your details.
Congratulations.
This is the Xbox version.
Xbox One.
Xbox
One. It'll
Yep.
work on Xbox Series
It
as
should
well.
work up,
But yep. So, is this a picture of character actor Brent Spiner, or is it Swagger from Shooter who plays a sniper? Ooh,
tough one.
Who's that? Ooh, Spiner or Sniper? Spiner or Sniper?
Or Spiner.
Is it Dermot Mulroney or Dougal McDermott?
All right, let's get those
All right,
guesses
the guessing
rolling.
has been enabled. So
Guesses
of course,
are on.
Exclamation mark.
Let me bring it
guess
up again.
Spiner.
Yep.
If you think it's Deep Space Nine star, which apparently
Or
people pissed off about.
Sniper. There's a lot of spiners. There's a sniper. Spiner. That's a lot of confidence in that one.
A lot of people saying, I've seen some snipers.
We didn't get the music going.
I just need to be really clear. You know he's from Star Trek, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because you did
Star Trek Deep Space Nine a thing?
Stop.
Is that a different show?
Yeah. Deep Space Nine is Star Wars.
Oh, God. That would have been embarrassing.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Guesses are in?
Yeah, let's start. Let's kill it.
Are we done?
Are we done? Wait.
Sniper or spiner?
Stop.
Sniper or spiner. Toggle guesses. There it is.
Guessing has been disabled. Peter, can you reveal to us, is this Brent Spiner or is it
the other
Vegas Sniper's shooter?
Technically Mark Wahlberg. Because that last shot wasn't from...
It was. We got... It is Bondwa 1, and it was indeed Spiner behind a sniper.
That said he ran it early, but that's fine.
That's fine, mate. At all. That's fine.
Well done, Bondwa. And then the final code has been given away on PC.
Yep.
It's a PC copy of the game. Mm-hmm. The game, Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2.
Shooter Ghost Warrior.
Yeah, I was going to say a game title only slightly less complicated than our game title.
Okay, the PC code. The PC
for
code.
PC.
Yep.
Peter Burns.
Hang on, wait 1 sec. I'm going to get the music going because I forgot last time. Okay, and now here is the
this
third
a
and
picture
final
of Brent Spiner or Sniper from the film Sniper? Shooter.
What the fuck are we looking at?
I think
well, that's the point.
I think that's Mark Wahlberg's wife.
How are we meant to know? Is
How
that
we meant
Brent
to know?
Spiner or Swagger Sniper?
Swagger Sniper. They've both been...
Look at all the question marks. Swirling around.
How will we ever know? Wonderful work by Will there.
Can I ask a serious question?
Yeah.
Has Mark Wahlberg ever had long hair?
Maybe that ask it once the
If he
thing
did-
is closed, mate.
If he did, and I can't think of a film it was,
The Happening.
it definitely was in a ponytail every time.
Yeah, 100%.
yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Probably in
As
some
Marky
of his,
Mark?
as some of his Marky Mark
No, Marky
stuff.
Mark was like the peak of the
Yeah,
short,
that's true.
like
Yeah,
ice,
that's true.
Ice Cube hair.
That's true.
Okay.
thing.
Kill it.
Kill it.
Everyone's in. Kill it.
had long hair.
No, we're not trying to kill you with my long hair.
So how do you mother for me?
We are done. The guesses are in.
Boogie Nights, he has long hair.
Hold 1 sec.
Stop the guesses.
Stop the guesses.
Announce the
Guesses
winner.
are stopped. It's been
Because
disabled.
It was a picture of Brent Spiner from the film Independence Day. And the winner is...
And he played a sniper. A science sniper.
a dirty rumor.
Dirty rumor.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
So congratulations to Girl Poke, Bondoir, and a dirty rumor. You have all won yourself a copy of Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2. One on PS4, one on Xbox, and one on PC. The game comes out tomorrow proper.
Pete, there's been no music through this entire segment. I have a button in here that is a sound effect to play music. I reckon it's probably there, but it's mixed so low because last time I used it, people were like, it's too fucking loud. So I just pulled it right down and it's probably just gone. Will, could you hear any music?
I started to bring it up when I looked at it and I was like, there's a tiny little green light that's slightly bouncing.
Yeah, okay.
That'll be it.
What was that green light? Character actor Brent Spiner, or was it? So thank you very much to everyone for playing Spiner or Sniper. Thank you
That
very
title
much.
shot again, Peter Burns.
Yeah, don't waste that.
I'm not playing that again.
I can't believe you make these wonderful things for like 5-minute segments.
That's so good.
You guys are great.
But it's like we used to just build like flat cards.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's totally fine when we don't have time. But it's like, if there's another like 20 minutes, it's like, come on.
We put some sazzle in there. We put some sound effects. We give Nick a hammer. Let's make this a segment. All right. And unfortunately, that brings us to the end of the show. We've had some laughs, but eventually the laughter has to stop. And it's going to stop right now. Good night.
The laughter has to turn into
Sexy giggles.
sexy oohs and confused
It has to turn into a headset. Has to turn into
I don't want ooze.
Yeah, why are there sexy ooze?
Because the post show.
Oh, the post
post show.
Did you forget that we were doing
Because we do the post show. Thanks
No,
to
I just
Raj.
forgot the post show. It was so
Sexy.
So yeah, everyone who's eligible for the post show, take your pants off. And for everybody else, you should go to patreon.com/backpocket or backpocket.gg and join up to our Patreon. As a reminder, the hoodie that you saw earlier, you are still eligible to get that if you have not signed up to that tier yet. It is the last month that you will be eligible. So if you do upgrade your patronage, then you will be able to get that hoodie to you in a couple of months' time. We have got on the YouTube page right now is the final stream of mine from the Resident Evil Back Pocket Game Club stream. And that is important because you should catch up on that because tomorrow we've got our Game Club actual stream.
We do.
Yep.
The monthly stream where we go deep dive, spoilerific dive on our Game Club game. And this month it was, of course, Resident Evil Village. So it is very exciting to be able to do that. I've got lots of thoughts.
Yeah, we've got thoughts. We're going to be talking about it all the way to the end and then also giving away one of our very precious Game Club notebooks, which I've had at home because I've been using
very
mine.
Expensive to post if you were to buy it for yourself.
And a mug as well. And to work out how to do that, you can go over to the Discord and jump into is it announcements or is it in the Game Club channel on Discord?
What time is the stream?
To what?
To enter that.
Oh, it's an announcement.
PM. We
There you
think
go.
1 p.m.
Yeah, we think 1 p.m. Will? We feeling confident package-wise?
Possibly. There's a lot of package to deal with.
That's a no.
There's a lot of package.
There's
a lot of package
talks. What happened here? But yeah, head over to the
Happy to.
announcements in Discord, and there is a Google form that you can head over to and put your answers in and be in the running to win.
Sorry, Scotty was just doing something very fucking cute.
Oh.
All right. And I actually sent off the winner last week. Finally. It only took 3 weeks, but I sent off LokiCat's and LokiCat's Lyle's prize. So they will get theirs and you can get your prize as well. So come along tomorrow. Keep an eye on the Discord or our Twitter feeds for an announcement of when that'll be. It'll be like 1 or 2 o'clock tomorrow. We're still just figuring out how much time we need to put that show together. All right. This show has been put together so well that it's over. And it was only made possible because of the wonderful mods who make sure our Discord runs, our dumb games and chat run, and just everything runs in general. So thank you very much to the mods. And a big thank you to all of our patrons and a massive thank you to our top stitchers. These are the people who get commercials, they get segments. They have names like Reese, Oranishi, !Tim, Mason, Not Nathan, SlowPonk, LokiCat, Raj, Akarash, Camo, Avexia, Nakritex, Boxy, DeCoastal City, MaxJazzGames, Vegabus, and A. Timothy. We love you all. Speaking of people we love, Raj is sponsoring the post show, so stick around for that. Gus?
Because
Yep.
post show
Yeah.
starts now.